Rumble. The Immortal Emperor immediately shook under that charge. Rumble. The Immortal Emperor immediately shook under that charge. Emo rejoiced. He thought he would need to charge many times or even tens of times, but on the first charge, he reached the Immortal Emperor barrier. He immediately realized what was going on. According to his cultivation progress, he could long reach Immortal Emperor. It meant that his foundation as an immortal monarch was enough. The reason he wasn't able to reach Immortal Emperor was because he couldn't reach Immortal Monarch peak stage. Crack. As soon as Emo touched the Immortal Emperor barrier, the divine damnation fell. Emo threw another Tai Wei Emperor return pill in his mouth without hesitation. He lacked immortal pills the least. These pills were very precious to other sects, but he had plenty. The lightning flashed and Wuyin Immortal Emperor immediately released his immortal subjugation tree root. He was going to attack when Emo was struck by the first wave of divine damnation. 9 bluish-black bolts of lightning fell. Wuyin Immortal Emperor was dazed. He didn't expect Emo's divine damnation was bucket-sized thick, but he was more assured. After these 9 bolts, Emo would be heavily injured if not dead. Even if he was caught in the divine damnation, he would at most receive light injuries. Wuyin Immortal Emperor's calculations were very precise. He followed the 9 bolts of lightning closely and attacked Emo. He was certain that even if he was caught in it, it would be very little. Plus, he released his top-level defense magic artifact Golden Dragon Painting to protect him. Crackle crackle. Lightning rained down non-stop. Wuyin Immortal Emperor was lost for words. Just what divine damnation was Emo this bastard having? The 9 bolts was only a part of the first wave. After this 9 bolts, 10 more equally sized lightning came. These bolts were less than a second slower than the first 9 bolts. Wuyin Immortal Emperor counted and there were actually 81 bolts. Wuyin Immortal Emperor's face went pale. Even though he was Immortal Emperor peak stage, he couldn't stop such terrifying divine damnation arc. He had released his magic artifact now and even clashed with the latter lightning bolts. This meant that he had been caught into the divine damnation. It was impossible to leave now. At this moment, how could Wuyin Immortal Emperor not know what Emo planned? He was furious, but he could only block this divine damnation. He swore he had never seen such terrifying divine damnation in his life. His Immortal Emperor divine damnation was a small stream compared to the ocean that Yemo's divine damnation was. No wonder Yemo could easily kill Immortal Emperor as an immortal monarch. This person was so absurdly powerful that even the heavens didn't want him to live. If he knew it was such terrifying divine damnation, Wuyin Immortal Emperor would rather run far away. He didn't believe that anyone could survive such divine damnation, not even Yemo. No Immortal Emperor can survive this divine damnation, maybe not even Truth Divine Emperor. Seeing Wuyin Immortal Emperor get caught in the divine damnation, Yemo sneered. Served this old bastard right. Other people were scared of this divine damnation, but he wasn't at all. He had long predicted that his Immortal Emperor divine damnation would be crazy. This was just the start. He just needed to speed up reaching Immortal Emperor at the start. Once he reached Immortal Emperor, his power would be tens of times stronger. This divine damnation would just be child's play. If Wuyin Immortal Emperor didn't join, he might use Zishu to block a little, but now that Wuyin Immortal Emperor joined, he couldn't even be bothered doing this. He just used the 3 birth chant and body refinement cultivation method like crazy, devouring the lightning source like crazy while refining his body. At the same time, he gathered all his immortal essence to charge at that Immortal Emperor barrier. Rumble. Tens of water bucket-thick lightning arcs kept smashing on Yemo's body. Blood and flesh rubbed against each other. His bones were cracking with the strikes, but Yemo wasn't scared at all. Tai Wei Emperor Return Pill had plenty of power, and with how crazy Yemo was devouring Immortal Spirit Kai and Lightning Source, the combined power was crazy. But even so, this wave of energy could only shake the Immortal Emperor barrier. There wasn't even a crack. Yemo knew clearly that although he touched the Immortal Emperor barrier easily, it wasn't easy to break it. He ignored Wuyin Immortal Emperor and just focused charging at the Immortal Emperor barrier. Wuyin Immortal Emperor couldn't even protect himself now, much less attack Yemo. He couldn't devour those lightning and didn't have immortal god body refinement. The lightning struck him head-on. Crack. The golden dragon painting only blocked more than 10 thicking lightning arcs and started cracking. Wuyin Immortal Emperor also took back the tree root he attacked Yimo with. He couldn't even save his own life now, how could he attack Yimo? The tree root turned into countless tree roots and extended out. They joined up together to stop the lightning bolts. Bolts of lightning were torn to pieces by Wuyin Immortal Emperor's tree root and clashed with the lightning arcs Yimo smashed away. Wuyin Immortal Emperor's heart was bleeding. The first wave of divine damnation hasn't ended yet, but he was already heavily injured. His golden dragon painting was cracking too. This was his best defense magic artifact. He cherished it like his life. Wuyin Immortal Emperor had made up his mind that after this divine damnation, he would immediately leave the range of the divine damnation. He would definitely not get caught up in Yimo's second wave of divine damnation again. If there was a second wave, he wouldn't need to kill Yimo, he would be killed himself first. After refining the second mouthful of wine, Dufeng monk stared at Yimo's divine damnation dazedly for a long while before murmuring, "This is divine damnation? So that's it, I understand." Looking at Wuyin Immortal Emperor who might be devoured at any time, Dufeng finally realized why Yimo said he was going to have divine damnation. Even divine emperors would have to watch on the side for this divine damnation. Just who was this youth? He didn't know if immortal emperors had divine damnation to vindicate Tao, but he knew it wouldn't be something as terrifying as this. The 81 bolts were finally used up, but Wuyin Immortal Emperor was like a death chamber prisoner now. He was covered in wounds and his clothes were long gone. His body was covered in blood and blackness. The first wave of divine damnation finally ended. Wuyin Immortal Emperor didn't want to care about Yimo anymore. He didn't even want to see Yimo again. He just wanted to go as far as possible. It was less than half a second after the first wave ended that the second wave came. He couldn't escape at all. After being locked on by this divine damnation, he couldn't even breathe. Looking at another 81 bolts fall down, Wuyin Immortal Emperor moaned helplessly. What did he do? He found such a maniac of an opponent. If he had another chance, he would rather call Yimo grandpa than have divine damnation with him. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Another 81 bolts fell. Yimo knew it was the same number of bolts as before, but Yimo knew this wave had more power. When the second wave fell, Yimo didn't want to passively defend anymore. He flew up and raised his two hands. He smashed out lightning spears. 5 lightning spear destruction. He could smash more than just 5 now. He could smash out 50 or even 500. But the more he used, the weaker they were. As the lightning spears smashed out, those thick lightning bolts were smashed apart into lightning light. Those lightning light not only refined Yimo's 5 lightning spear destruction god art but also landed on Yimo's body. Yimo devoured this, and together with the immortal spirit Kai he devoured, it smashed towards that immortal emperor barrier again. The second wave of 81 bolts passed. Yimo's immortal essence had stacked up to a terrifying amount, but his immortal emperor barrier would only shake and not open. The second wave of 81 bolts passed. Yimo's immortal essence had stacked up to a terrifying amount, but his immortal emperor barrier would only shake and not open. Yimo began to worry. In his past divine damnations, it never took him more than 2 waves of divine damnation to reach the next cultivation level. This time, 2 waves of divine damnation passed and his immortal emperor was still there. This was something never seen before. Luckily his immortal monarch foundation was big and his body refinement was high, otherwise, he wouldn't even be able to resist these huge lightning bolts. Yimo didn't have the mood to worry about Wuyin Immortal Emperor anymore. The third wave had come and it was 81 bolts again, but even more fierce. The thick lightning bolts were smashed away by Yimo. Rings of black lightning splashed apart, illuminating this murderous place. All the body refinement cultivators of the river were drawn over. For the first time Junyang left her wine. Everyone came to Yimo's place to watch this shocking divine damnation. The endless thick lightning bolts and the black lightning shivered every immortal's heart. They were all thinking, how could there be such terrifying divine damnation in this world? Junyang was murmuring something. No one heard what she said. She had experienced divine damnation before, but her divine damnation was nothing compared to Yimo's divine damnation. It was less than 5% of Yimo's divine damnation. Now she realized why Yimo wasn't even an immortal emperor but could suppress immortal emperor. Now that he reached immortal emperor, no one in this immortal realm would be able to stop him. Other than a few divine emperors, who would be a match for Yimo? As for Wuyin immortal emperor, who was struggling to survive between the bolts, he was long ignored. Everyone watched to see when Yimo could reach immortal emperor. Even those who didn't know Yimo wanted him to survive this divine damnation and reach immortal emperor. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The fourth wave of 81 bolts fell, and the heaven-covering thick lightning bolts completely covered this space. Yimo had to face this divine damnation carefully, or he would be disintegrated. The tattered Wuyin immortal emperor looked dazedly at Du Feng as though pleading for help. He really wanted to ask Du Feng monk to help. He really couldn't keep up with Yimo's divine damnation. The first 3 waves completely crippled his golden dragon painting. If his tree root wasn't so powerful and he was immortal emperor peak stage power, he would have died in the 3rd wave. Everyone's attention was on Yimo. Even if Du Feng monk saw him, he wouldn't dare to charge into Yimo's divine damnation to save someone. Crack. No matter how powerful the immortal subjugation tree root was, it couldn't resist this terrifying divine damnation. Cracks appeared. Plus, Wuyin immortal emperor could only passively defend against the divine damnation while Yimo devoured the divine damnation to increase his power. Before the 4th wave finished, Wuyin immortal emperor was completely smashed by a thick lightning bolt on his body. Wuyin immortal emperor couldn't hold on anymore. He couldn't even control his tree root anymore. Lightning bolts kept falling. Rumble, rumble, rumble. For thick bolts hit him again. Even though he took out all the defense magic artifacts in his storage ring, it was useless. There was a hideous scream. Wuyin immortal emperor's body was broken, and as soon as his essence spirit came out, it was disintegrated by the falling divine damnation. At the same time, Yimo felt his body refinement about to break through. His cultivation level didn't break through, but his body refinement reached immortal god body tertiary stage. The powerful body made Yimo breath easy. Once Wuyin immortal emperor was killed, almost all the lightning arcs focused on him. Yimo was even feeling grateful to that Wuyin immortal emperor now. If he didn't share a part of the divine damnation, he would be more heavily injured. When Yimo reached immortal god body tertiary stage, the 5th wave fell without hesitation. If the 9th wave fell and Yimo didn't break through, he would be the only person to have a divine damnation and not break through. The nearby immortals saw with their own eyes Wuyin immortal emperor getting killed by the divine damnation. They were very shocked. Not many people knew Yimo, but there weren't many who didn't know Wuyin immortal emperor. Wuyin immortal emperor was on the level of Wei Yifeng grand emperor, and yet he couldn't survive. This made Du Feng realize that if he went he would be killed too. This was why Yimo could drink a whole bottle of the wine, but he could only drink 2 mouthfuls. Yimo devoured all the lightning source and charged at the immortal emperor barrier. However, the 5th wave was about to be over, but his immortal emperor barrier was still just shaking. Yimo became more worried. Ever since he reached immortal god body middle stage, the divine damnation couldn't kill him, but if he couldn't reach immortal emperor, all was useless. If he didn't reach immortal emperor, he wouldn't be able to talk to Feng Kong grand emperor. Seeing that the 6th wave was about to fall, Yimo saw Junyang appear. He immediately called Junyang, "Lend me a kettle of black wine." Junyang was very shocked at Yimo's divine damnation, and hearing his call, she charged at Yimo with a kettle of black wine without hesitation. "Junyang, do you not want to live?" An immortal emperor, as the Junyang Hotel called. Junyang hesitated but still didn't stop and said at the same time, "I like his song." Junyang charged into Yimo's divine damnation and gave the black kettle to Yimo. She only had one last kettle of this black wine. If it was destroyed by the divine damnation, she wouldn't be able to give Yimo another one. Rumble. The 6th wave of 81 bolts fell. The bolts were thicker than buckets. Junyang knew that she was locked on by the divine damnation now and couldn't escape. Her pale face became even more pale. Yimo took the wine kettle and smiled. "Thank you, Junyang. You and Little Mud are my friends. Go out first, I will visit your business frequently. Junyang just wanted to say she was locked on by the divine damnation when she felt her body relax. Yimo flew up and smashed out hundreds of 5 lightning spear destruction. He also smashed out Zishu. Junyang immediately knew that she was different to Wuyin Immortal Emperor. The divine damnation that locked onto her was blocked by Yimo. She didn't need to worry at all. She knew now wasn't the time to talk. She saluted with her fists to Yimo and quickly left. Everyone saw Junyang leave safely and saw Yimo fly up to fight the divine damnation and was even more shocked. Yimo was pretty much battling the divine damnation, and from the looks of it, Yimo had the upper hand. Wuyin Immortal Emperor was killed by the divine damnation probably because Yimo didn't want to save him. Junyang, what is it like inside? Some people who knew Junyang asked. Junyang breathed easy. If immortal friend ye didn't help I would be ashes right now. I can't even block one wave of the divine damnation. Rumble. Yimo's lightning spears smashed with the 81 bolts again. Zishu purple shadows ravaged the sky and endless lightning was smashed away. At this moment, lightning light completely covered the murderous Kai here. When the 6th wave was about to end, Yimo raised the black kettle and drank all of the contents. Even those who haven't had the Junyang black wine could imagine how terrifying it was. As for those few who drank it, they were even more shocked. Yimo just drank the entire kettle like that. Even divine emperors wouldn't be able to handle it. Even those who haven't had the Junyang black wine could imagine how terrifying it was. As for those few who drank it, they were even more shocked. Yimo just drank the entire kettle like that. Even divine emperors wouldn't be able to handle it. The extremely violent killing intent ravaged Yimo's body as though about to tear him to pieces the next moment. Yimo's body that wasn't torn by the divine damnation was slowly showing blood gashes under this terrifying black Junyang wine. Blood trickled down eerily. It was as though his body would be ripped apart by this terrifying killing intent the next moment. The uncontrollable killing intent and lightning spilled apart. Even those immortals standing far couldn't help retreating. The killing intent in this killing Kai was too scary. Rumble. Explosions roared in the sky and bluish-black lightning fell, tearing the entire space. Everyone knew this was Yimo's 7th wave of divine damnation coming down. At this moment, Yimo's body was torn red by the killing Kai in the wine. His face became more and more pale. When the 7th wave of divine damnation came, Yimo took out another Tai Wei Emperor return pill and ate it. To Yimo, if he couldn't reach Immortal Emperor, who knows when he would be able to break through. He had to reach Immortal Emperor as quickly as possible. Only then would he have the power to stand firm in the immortal realm. Only then would Mo Yu Immortal Sect be able to stand firm. Crackle. The terrifying lightning struck Yimo's body. Yimo used all the pills of the power along with the lightning source as well as the black wine lethal force to charge at the Immortal Emperor barrier. The satisfying killing intent turned into invisible blades. These blades were mixed with the lightning source and smashed on the Immortal Emperor barrier again. Before this wave of charge finished, the killing intent came again. Crack. An extremely comfortable feeling welled throughout Yimo's body. At this moment, Yimo felt the entire world open up to him. It was as though the immortal realm was no longer the same immortal realm and space wasn't the same space. Everything became meticulous and Tao waves were extremely clear to him. Powerful immortal essence power and the boundless sea of consciousness filled Yimo's body. Yimo couldn't help but moan in comfort. It was as though he could easily pick up the nearby immortal spirit Kai around him. He could use the power of the world at any time. When he tried to sense that immortal emperor barrier, it was long gone. Yimo's eyes finally lit up and let out a long howl. Everyone knew now that although Yimo's divine damnation hasn't finished yet, he was no an immortal emperor. Yimo grabbed casually and the nearby space seemed completely bound by his hand. So this is immortal emperor state. Yimo murmured to himself. If someone had his immortal emperor power, then no matter how powerful his immortal monarch peak stage would be completely outmatched. 3-birth chant was indeed the chaos cultivation method of the world. This extreme power wasn't something ordinary immortal emperors could compare with. Yimo let out a long howl. He hadn't seen Feng Kong Grand Emperor before, but he knew Feng Kong Grand Emperor was stronger than Wei Feng Grand Emperor. However, Yimo no longer had fear in his heart. This was his confidence because he was different to other immortal emperors. The tens or even hundreds of times more resources he used compared to others didn't go to waste. Yimo just reached Immortal Emperor and his Immortal Emperor force was seeping out. It made people step back again. Even immortal emperors took in a cold breath. Yimo's power wasn't something same-level immortal emperors could compare with at all. His Immortal Emperor force meant that he was tens of times stronger than before. Who could stop him in the immortal realm? Only the 4 Grand Emperor or even Divine Emperor can. The 8th and 9th Divine Damnation came at the same time, but these were nothing to Yimo now. He didn't even use God Art and just grabbed with his hand. These lightning bolts were either devoured or turned to nothing. The rumbling seemed to have instantly disappeared from the sky, but people didn't see Immortal Spirit Kai Cloud falling. Yimo knew his Divine Damnation rarely had that, and now that he reached Immortal Emperor he didn't care about it at all. When the Divine Damnation disappeared, he set up a stealth restriction and quickly cleansed himself and changed into new blue robes. When Yimo put away the restriction and put away the unfinished extreme grade immortal range, everyone woke up. Yimo's terrifying Divine Damnation was over. Regardless if the immortals knew Yimo, they all came to congratulate Yimo. Everyone who witnessed Yimo's Divine Damnation knew that someone who could have such Divine Damnation would have no opponents in the future. The immortal realm will be his. Seeing Yimo clean and easy, the people who came to congratulate him were more shocked. Other people would be covered in injuries after Divine Damnation and spend a lot of time to consolidate their power. But Yimo seemed like he didn't go through anything at all. His newly ascended Kai was very stable too. His powerful Immortal Emperor Kai only spilled the moment he reached Immortal Emperor and shocked people. After the Divine Damnation, they couldn't sense it at all. Yimo thanked them all. These people witnessed him reaching Immortal Emperor. This was some fate. Cultivating till now, this Immortal Emperor breakthrough was the hardest. Luckily Junyang helped him. Without that murderous intent in the wine, it would be really hard to break his Immortal Emperor barrier. After everyone finished congratulating, Junyang came up to congratulate. Immortal friend Yi, congratulations. You've become an unparalleled Immortal Emperor. The heavens are yours to roam now. Junyang exclaimed. Yimo quickly saluted with his fists. Thank you Junyang for lending me a kettle of wine. Otherwise, I really wouldn't be able to break through to Immortal Emperor. Then, Yimo took out 100 black wine kill stones to Junyang. He didn't think small ginseng would be able to produce such wine, so he might as well give it all to Junyang. Junyang quickly waved her hand. Brother Yi, the wine can be my congratulation gift. You don't need to give me wine kill stone. Yimo smiled. Junyang, I know that although I got the wine recipe from Little Mud Chen Bei, I definitely wouldn't be able to produce such wine. You can have these wine kill stones. I'll come to your place to drink again. Junyang smiled. In that case, I won't be too polite. Seeing Junyang take the wine kill stones, Yimo took out 2 more jade boxes and gave it to her. Junyang, this is my little gift, please take it. Junyang didn't need to open it to know what was inside. Yimo gave her this jade box before. It was the one containing the Emperor Wood Blue fruit. This fruit was something even Chu Chen Divine Emperor needed desperately. She didn't expect Yimo to give 2 in one go. Clearly, Yimo meant to give her and Chu Chen Divine Emperor 1 each. This fruit was too precious. Even though she wanted it immediately, she didn't dare to take it. She quickly rejected. Brother Yi, this is too precious, I can't accept it. Yimo laughed. Junyang, you and Little Mud Chen Bei are people I respected. Without this wine, I can't reach Immortal Emperor. You don't know, but I know. Yimo truly understood why he couldn't reach Immortal Emperor. He cultivated under the bitter bamboo and had no bottleneck. He lacked this inexpressible learning. Cultivation was like living life. There isn't perfection. How could one see the rainbow without going through the storm? His cultivation level loosened when Shoyu Immortal Emperor's flag drew out his heart demon. This time, he was hurt by Nai Shuang and drank the wine in the hotel. His mind state grew again. Okay, In that case I won't be too polite. My hotel welcomes Brother Yi at any time. Junyang's best wine will forever be kept for you. Junyang took the 2 jade boxes and said shakily, "This is the Junyang I imagined." Yimo laughed. "Junyang. I'm a level 9 immortal pill grandmaster and the sect leader of Moyu Immortal Sect. When Junyang doesn't want to keep this shop, my Moyu Immortal Sect welcomes you and Little Mud Qian Bei at any time." Chapter 1959, People from the Grand Emperor Estate. Chapter 1959, People from the Grand Emperor Estate. "Brother Yi, you're a level 9 immortal pill grandmaster too?" Junyang repeated in shocked. Everyone else also looked at Yi Mo with extreme shock. Level 9 immortal pill grandmaster wasn't that easy to see, and now there was one standing in front of him who was also an insanely powerful immortal emperor. "That's right, I'm a level 9 immortal pill grandmaster. If everyone wants pill concoction, you can come to my Moyu Immortal Sect," Yimo said. Moyu Immortal Sect needed fame now, not just fame in the low heaven domains but in the entire immortal realm. Hearing this, people rejoiced and came up to thank again. Dufeng Monk also came over. He grabbed the huge beads on his neck and said, "I remember, you're the person who broke the Jia Kuei secret realm restriction, right? Amazing, too amazing. Big Monk is from Nanming Heaven Zen Temple. Dufeng. You're very generous. You lent a bottle of Junyang black wine to Big Monk. You're a good friend." Yimo quickly saluted with his fists. "Brother Dufeng, you saved my friends at the Ice Carrot Immortal City. I should be thanking you. A mere bottle of wine is nothing. Okay, immortal crystals like people like you. Monk is going to check out Qing Wei Abyssal River. Do you want to come?" Dufeng was straightforward. Yimo immediately said, "I just came from Qing Wei Abyssal River. I'm going to pick up my sister. I probably can't come over." Then, Yimo said to everyone, "My Moyu Immortal Sect will be holding our sect opening ceremony in a decade. I welcome everyone to come. Thank you all for watching out for me today. We'll bid farewell now." Yimo was worried about Tang Beiwei and them, so he released his space-time boat and instantly disappeared from here. Brother Yimo is a good friend. Dufeng looked at Yimo's disappearing figure and raised his thumb. "Yes, he's a worthy friend," Junyang exclaimed. Hearing Yimo was a sect leader and going to hold his sect opening ceremony, some body refinement immortals were planning to go. The benefits of connecting with a level 9 immortal pill grandmaster was inestimable. Yimo used half a day to come to Qing Wei Abyssal River from the city, but now he used less than a third of the time. Before Yimo went in the city, he saw Tang Beiwei, Ning Yu, and Yu Jinxiang negotiating with someone in the Immortal Rest Tower Hall. Yu Jinxiang had reached Immortal King middle stage after a year. But the person talking to her was an Immortal Monarch middle stage. Yu Jinxiang was much stronger than ordinary Immortal King, but she wouldn't be able to challenge an Immortal Monarch. "Martial sister YY, what's going on?" Yimo asked. Tang Beiwei saw Yimo come over and immediately came up grabbing his hand. "Brother, you're finally back." They thought Yimo would at most go for a few months, but it had now been a year. A lot of things happened during this time. If it wasn't for Yu Jinxiang's experience and they were very careful, things might have happened already. "Martial brother, you're back," Yu Jinxiang said. Martial brother, Ning Yu, also came up to Yimo. Yimo scanned at the person who was speaking to Yu Jiangxiang and frowned. "Martial sister Yu, who is he? What is he doing here?" "I believe you're Moyu Immortal Sect leader Yimo, right? I'm the major of Fengkong Grand Emperor Estate Na Ming. I came to invite sect leader Yi. When I heard sect leader Yi wasn't here, I wanted to invite a few of your sect members over." This immortal monarch casually saluted with his fists. "Bullshit, we said we don't want to go, but you said if we don't go then you'll take us by force." Tang Beiwei was angry. She couldn't keep calm like Yu Jinxiang and Ning Yu. Na Ming Immortal Monarch didn't rebuke and saluted with his fists again. "That's right, this is the will of Fengkong Grand Emperor. I'm just a manager and acting out my order." Yimo's face sunk. "Go tell Fengkong, Yimo will definitely come visit." "No, I must go with you." Before Na Ming Immortal Monarch finished, he felt the nearby space squeeze and the next moment, he saw a foot kick his face. Yimo's voice sounded piss off. Tell Feng Kong I will sort things out with him. Yimo's kick wasn't heavy. Na Ming Immortal Monarch was kicked out of the Immortal Rest Tower and subconsciously covered his face. He pointed his finger at Yimo in fury. Since when did people dare to treat someone from Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate like this? Yimo suddenly stared at him coldly and said, if you dare to say one more word I will cut your head off. Of course Na Ming Immortal Monarch had heard of how crazy Yimo was. He didn't even fear Wei Feng Grand Emperor. Although he was more furious hearing these words, he knew that Yimo didn't lie. There was probably no one in this world that Yimo feared. Na Ming Immortal Monarch didn't dare to say a word and just turned to leave. He trusted the Grand Emperor will bring him justice. The Immortals saw Yimo dare to even kick away Feng Kong Grand Emperor's person. They didn't dare to talk more. Brother, Tang Beiwei wanted to say something but was stopped by Yimo. Let's go in the room first. Yimo guessed that something probably happened to them while he left. As they spoke, Yimo realized that in the first half after he left, they were fine here. No one dared to look for their trouble. But half a year ago, an extremely big auction at the city exposed their tracks. This auction was big and the city was running out of spaces. Yu Jinxiang and them had a big block. The rooms were big and Immortal Spirit Kai were ample. Many sects and merchant associations who couldn't find a place to stay set their eyes on their block. Many sects forced the manager to persuade them to go and give them compensation. However, Yu Jinxiang was once an Immortal Emperor peak stage. How could she be persuaded away? However, things didn't end there. The day before the sect, Qing Wei Heaven Wuya Monarch sect suddenly had someone come to this room and forced them to move out. Their sect had a very important guest and this guest was coming to the auction here. They wanted to find the best room for them. Their dominance didn't force Yu Jinxiang away. They were willing to pay double the price, but Yu Jinxiang didn't care about that little immortal crystals. She rejected without hesitation. That Wuya Monarch sect was furious and attacked Yu Jinxiang. That elder was Immortal Monarch Tertiary stage but Yu Jinxiang was only Immortal King Tertiary stage. Clearly Yu Jinxiang was no match and got injured. Just when that Immortal Monarch was going to keep attacking Yu Jinxiang, Tang Beiwei suddenly said that they were from Mo Yu Immortal sect. If he dared to keep attacking, her brother wasn't going to let them go. Hearing this, the Immortal Monarch immediately stopped attacking and didn't dare to keep asking for the room. The next day, the sect leader personally came to apologize. Yu Jinxiang didn't see them. After that, Tang Beiwei and them felt that they were watched. Indeed, a while later, Wuyin Immortal Emperor came. He wanted to take them away but was stopped by a passerby monk. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Brother, where do we go now? Tang Beiwei said. Brother, where do we go now? Tang Beiwei said. Since Feng Kong sent someone to bring us over, of course we need to go. Let's see what his dog home looks like. Yimo laughed. Yimo had to go find Feng Kong, whether it was because of what his threats to them or the woman whom he kicked off the stairs. Martial brother, you're going to see Feng Kong Grand Emperor? Yu Jinxiang asked in shock. She had to be shocked. She knew Yimo's power from Tang Beiwei and knew that Yimo was much weaker than Wei Feng Grand Emperor. Wei Feng Grand Emperor was a far cry from Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Yimo was definitely no match for Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Yes, I have to go see him. Plus, even if I don't go, would he let me go? Yimo knew that since Feng Kong Grand Emperor knew he had Shadowless, then he knew that he was the person who came out from the small heaven domain. Yu Jinxiang knew that Yimo was right. Even if he didn't go for Yu Jinxiang, just with how Yimo kicked the manager away, Feng Kong Grand Emperor wasn't going to let them go. As soon as they were planning to leave, someone came to their place. It was two Immortal Monarch Tertiary stage. Brother, this is Wuya Monarch sect leader. The one standing behind him is the elder asking us to give out the room. Tang Beiwei said. Wuya sect Shen Huamaro greet sect leader Yi. My sect elder offended Mo Yu Immortal sect and now we came to apologize. Sect leader, ye can punish however you like. One middle-aged immortal monarch saw Yi Mo come out and quickly bowed respectfully. Yi Mo looked at the presents in his hands and knew that he was waiting for him here. Clearly, what he did at the secret realm had spread all over the entire Grand Heaven domain. Wan Bei Wuyar Monarch Sect Elder Kwong Feiji. I offended your sect members a few months ago. I'm very distressed. Please punish me, Sect Leader Yi. That cocky immortal monarch's tone was even shaking. They waited at the city a few months just to apologize to Yi Mo. Of course they knew about Wuyin Immortal Emperor hunting Yi Mo. If Yi Mo didn't come back and Wuyin Immortal Emperor came back, they wouldn't need to apologize, and if they knew Yi Mo was killed they would even keep teaching Tang Beiwei and them a lesson. But now, Yi Mo was back but Wuyin Immortal Emperor wasn't back. Yi Mo sneered in contempt. He knew how shameless these people were and only acted like this because he was stronger. If something happened to him, Beiwei and them would never get away, but there were people like this everywhere. Yi Mo didn't have the mood to care. You're a mere immortal monarch sect and you dare to be this cocky. One day, your sect will be annihilated due to your cockiness. Yi Mo then took Beiwei and them and left. The two immortal monarchs clearly didn't dare to chase up. After they had left, the sect leader wiped the sweat from his head and said to the other immortal monarch, if sect leader Yi wants to annihilate our sect, it would be as simple as crushing an insect. He's right. We're a mere monarch sect. If we keep going like this, our sect would be annihilated. Sect leader, young Master Long said last time that he would help us with this. The other immortal monarch elder carefully explained. Xian Huamaro sighed. He couldn't even be bothered explaining. How could you take those words seriously? Even if young Master Long went to find Mo Yu immortal sect, they would still have to apologize to Yi Mo. That level of battle wasn't something they had the right to be in. Yi Mo didn't even give face to Feng Kong Grand Emperor. The biggest in Qing Wei Heaven was Hongyu Immortal City. There were few immortal city that could match with Hongyu Immortal City in the entire Grand Heaven domain. This was because the Qing Wei Heaven Lord Estate was here. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's estate was here too. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's estate was grand and monumental. Even the top emperor sects couldn't match this. Yi Mo and them gasped in front of this estate. Yi Mo just glanced once and knew this estate was not just an estate but a top-level magic artifact. It was even beyond extreme-grade immortal artifact. These cultivation home artifacts were rare. Yi Mo made some too, but they were just simple houses and mansions. These boundless cultivation home artifacts were far better than ordinary small worlds. Yi Mo had to be careful of this. Is sect leader Yi here? While Yi Mo studied this Grand Emperor estate, someone came to greet. It was an immortal monarch tertiary stage. Yi Mo nodded. That's right, I'm Yi Mo. Welcome sect leader Yi, the Grand Emperor has been waiting for you. Please come in. The immortal monarch was much more polite than the one who went to Ice Carrot Immortal City. Haha, I didn't plan on seeing Feng Kong today. I just came to know the way. I'll come visit tomorrow. Yi Mo said and then turned to leave. The three girls followed him. Brother, why don't we go in? Tang Beiwei asked. Yi Mo said we have no face going in like this. We'll go find an immortal rest tower and let him come to us. I'm a sect leader and when I came to his estate he doesn't even come to greet me personally. He's looking down on me. In the Feng Kong Grand Emperor Estate Palace, an authoritative-looking man sat in an ancient emperor chair in the clouds. There were tens of beautiful female immortal on the side of the palace. They all stood on rainbow clouds barefoot. There was a black-faced man on the left side of the palace. He was immortal emperor tertiary stage power. The immortal monarch whom Yi Mo just saw stood in the middle of the palace. Feng Kong Grand Emperor was furious that Yi Mo, being a mere low heaven domain sect leader, dares to act like this. You said that he didn't come in at the entrance because he thought I didn't go greet him personally? Feng Kong Grand Emperor's tone was calm but his eyes were fierce. Yes, Feng Emperor Master. I heard it with my own ears. The black-faced immortal emperor bowed. Feng Kong Grand Emperor sneered, go invite him tomorrow. If he doesn't come tomorrow I will go greet him personally. I'll see if he can handle it. Secret, it would only be a secret if you can keep it. A mere immortal emperor dares to be this cocky. Grand Emperor, Even Wei Feng Grand Emperor suspected Yi Mo didn't reach Immortal Emperor, but now he suddenly shows Immortal Emperor primary stage power. This is really strange. The black-faced Immortal Emperor said carefully. Feng Kong Grand Emperor thought for a long while before saying, "I'll know tomorrow." No matter how long he had ascended into the immortal realm for, he was only Great Eternity Immortal Tertiary stage when he entered the small heaven domain. There's quite some strange things on him for him to reach Immortal Emperor this quickly. Perhaps the one who entered the small heaven domain wasn't him? The black-faced Immortal Emperor added. Feng Kong Grand Emperor nodded regardless, "I'll know tomorrow." There were plenty of immortal rest towers at Qing Wei Heaven. Yi Mo and them soon found a place to stay. After going in, Yi Mo set up a powerful barrier formation and told the three to not leave at all. Yi Mo came to look for trouble with Feng Kong Grand Emperor. How could he not go in because Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't come to greet him? The main reason was because he was scared to go in. If he went into Feng Kong Grand Emperor's cultivation home artifact without any preparation, it would be suicide. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1961, Feng Kong's Garden. Chapter 1961, Feng Kong's Garden. Yi Mo couldn't spirit control Feng Kong's cultivation home, but he had the confidence to set up an immortal formation outside the magic artifact. If Feng Kong activated his cultivation home, he can teleport out immediately. With his formation skills and the formation means he learnt at the Lethal Force Dimension Palace, Yi Mo believed that even if Grand Emperor was level 9 Immortal Formation Grand Master, he wouldn't be able to detect his formation unless he studied the formation means of that palace too. Yi Mo believed that was impossible. If Feng Kong Grand Emperor was experienced in formation, he wouldn't break the formation door and leave through the void. In one night, Yi Mo completely set up this formation. When he returned to his place, Yi Mo made a teleportation jade cards and placed them on Beiwei and them. The second day, before Yi Mo even left the Immortal Rest Tower, someone from the Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate came to invite him. This time, it was a dark-faced Immortal Emperor. "I'm Grand Emperor Estate Mu Rueguang. Please forgive our rudence yesterday, sect leader Yi." Although Yi Mo was only Immortal Emperor primary stage, this black-faced Immortal Emperor tertiary stage was still very polite. Yi Mo laughed. "No problem, I wanted to have a look at the grandiose scene in the Grand Emperor estate. I didn't expect Feng Kong Grand Emperor to send Brother Mu to come greet me. Please lead the way, Brother Mu." Mu Rueguang was very confused. He didn't expect Yi Mo was so easy to talk to. This was the best. He was scared Yi Mo would cause trouble. He had seen recordings of Yi Mo's battle. Even if he attacked at full force, he would be no match for Yi Mo. If Feng Kong Grand Emperor had to personally come invite a low heaven domain sect leader, it would be very shameful for Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Yi Mo came to the Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate for the second time. This time, Yi Mo went straight in without hesitation. When he came here, he felt this place had a sliver of familiarity. Yi Mo didn't feel it was his memories but the scene at the Samsara path that was causing this. "Haha, sect leader Yi is very famous now. Feng Kong is very honored to have you at my estate." Before Yi Mo even came in the Golden Palace, Feng Kong Grand Emperor got up from his seat and walked forward a few steps. Yi Mo smiled. "You're of one the 4 Grand Emperors. It's my deepest honor to come here today too." After the fake greetings, the immortal spirit fruit and immortal wines were brought here. Feng Kong Grand Emperor said, "Sect leader Yi, I invited you over this time to discuss some things with you. Would sect leader Yi have some private time?" "Of course, I have people here to accompany your sect members." Yi Mo rejected without hesitation. "No need, there's nothing I can't share with them. They're all excellent sect members." Seeing Yi Mo didn't listen to him, Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face sunk, but that was only an instant. He recovered his smile immediately and said, "That's fine too. I heard sect leader Yi has a dragon horse. Would you be able to call it out and broaden my views?" "Of course," Yi Mo said without hesitation. Then he told Shadowless to come out. "It's a dragon horse indeed." Feng Kong Grand Emperor had a shocked expression. Although he called it dragon horse too, only he knew that it definitely wasn't dragon horse. He had never seen such immortal spirit beast. He heard it could even devour domain and god art. Such immortal spirit beast was absurd. I wonder where sect leader Ye's dragon horse came from. I heard it appeared at the small heaven domain. Feng Kong Grand Emperor just glanced at Shadowless once and immediately made up his mind that he must get Shadowless. Yimo suddenly got up and said, Feng Kong Grand Emperor, this is a long story. Ji heard there's an extremely huge yard in your estate. May I have a look? Of course, I will explain the origin of my dragon horse as I walk through it. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's immortal essence was calm and extremely dense. Yimo immediately knew that this was the strongest immortal emperor he had seen. If he didn't reach immortal emperor, he was no match for this person. Yimo thought of how Heaven Grand Emperor said Feng Kong Grand Emperor showed his power to be the weakest amongst the 4 Grand Emperor but is actually the strongest. He's extremely calculated too, no one knows what he thinks. Of course, please sect leader Yi. Feng Kong Grand Emperor got up and smiled. Yimo only had one purpose doing this. He wanted to know where he and that woman was kicked off. He also wanted to know where that woman eventually went. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's garden was indeed extremely vibrant and beautiful. It was like spring everywhere and all sorts of aromas and immortal spirit Kai came into your face. You could completely relax. Yimo found that even in this garden, Feng Kong Grand Emperor has quite a few restriction. He couldn't scan his spirit sense across the entire garden. Sect leader Yi, if you see an immortal spirit flower you like, you can take it. Feng Kong Grand Emperor acted very magnanimous, but Yimo could tell he cared about the flowers here. Thank you very much, Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Yimo saluted with his fists and then casually took a Bing Fen lotus flower into his storage ring. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's eyes narrowed. He didn't expect Yimo took his casual words seriously. This Bing Feng lotus flower was the first of the 10 great immortal flowers in his garden. It's very beautiful and had different colors each year. It also had this Dao rune. Observing it would help one learn god art. Even he only had one and couldn't cultivate a second one. Now that Yimo dug it away, it would be damaged even if Yimo took it back out. Beiwei, Ningyi Yu, Martial Sister Yu, if you see any good-looking flower, don't be too polite. Since Grand Emperor said it, he won't be happy if we're too polite. Yimo said. Boss, can this flower be eaten? Shadowless had been with Yimo the longest. He immediately knew what Yimo was planning. If Boss said yes, he would immediately eat a large patch. Yimo knew that if that really happened, he would probably immediately start fighting with Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Feng Kong Grand Emperor heard this and quickly changed the topic. Sect leader Yi, your dragon horse looks quite good. Can you tell me its origin? Was it this dragon horse that went into the small heaven domain? Shadowless, the Grand Emperor is asking about you. You tell him, you can eat flowers whenever you want, but now's the time to answer questions. Yimo said to Shadowless while he kept searching for those stairs he was kicked off. That was long time ago, I wasn't a dragon horse yet. Shadowless stopped and then looked at Yimo asking, Boss, what was I before? You were a bug. Yimo was so annoyed he almost slapped Shadowless. He wanted Shadowless to tell some reliable history. Yes, I was a bug. If you didn't remind me, Boss, I almost forgot I was a bug. Shadowless kept mumbling, but Yimo saw Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face was extremely bleak. The reason Feng Kong Grand Emperor still hasn't attacked wasn't because he had good tempers, but he really wanted to know Shadowless' origin. Yimo didn't want to fight with Feng Kong Grand Emperor yet. He didn't find the place he was looking for, so he slapped, shut up. When Shadowless came to Tang Beiwei with his head looking down, Yimo saluted with his fists to Feng Kong Grand Emperor in apology. My immortal pet is too spoilt. It was original a fan black carrot horse, but one day it devoured a Luo Xiao Wu wood and evolved into this. Yu Jinxiang heard this and rolled her eyes at Yimo. This guy was calling her a horse. Yimo immediately realized that he said the wrong thing. Yu Jinxiang used the Luo Xiao Wu wood to rebuild her body. Luo Xiao Wu wood? Feng Kong Grand Emperor repeated in shock. This thing was utmost treasure to anyone, but Yimo's immortal pet ate it. He was still suspicious. Fan black carrot horses were rare but still existed. Could it really evolved into such an absurd immortal spirit beast? If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1962, The Stairs. Chapter 1962, The Stairs. Forbidden Grounds Master, Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor came to visit. The Immortal Monarch tertiary stage from yesterday reported. Feng Kong Grand Emperor immediately said Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor is the Heaven Lord of Qing Wei Heaven. How about you come see him with me, sect leader Yi? Yimo quickly waved his hand. Emperor Feng, I'm too straightforward. My relationship with Wei Yifeng isn't good. Last time we fought too. If I fight with him in your estate, it's not good. Grand Emperor, you can go greet that Wei Yifeng. We're so familiar already, no need to mind me. Plus, I really like this garden, so I'll stay here and watch the flowers. This, Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't expect Yimo's face was this thick. Since when were they familiar? But he really couldn't say much. After all, Yimo did fight with Wei Yifeng Immortal Emperor. Feng Kong Grand Emperor could only say helplessly, in that case, sect leader, you can enjoy the flowers here. I'll let Mu Rueguang serve you. No need. Yimo rejected. Under such beautiful flowers, I need to enjoy them with my beautiful female immortals. After Wei Yifeng is gone, Grand Emperor can call me up anytime. Forbidden Grounds was very annoyed, but he couldn't fight with Yimo yet. He had to ask some things before he did. For example, how did Yimo leave the lethal force dimension? How did Yimo break the restrictions in the backyard? Or even what cultivation method Yimo was using? Where did his heritage come from? He hadn't asked these questions yet. Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor really came at a bad time, but Wei Yifeng was the Heaven Lord of the biggest heaven domain. He needed Wei Yifeng to help with a lot of things. In that case, I'll be back in a hole. Feng Kong Grand Emperor thought he could only calm Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor first and then come deal with Yimo. As soon as Feng Kong Grand Emperor left, Yimo didn't care anymore despite a few immortal monarchs and 2 immortal emperor primary stage watching him. He hacked his spirit sense blades. The garden became naked to Yimo's eyes. In just a few seconds, Yimo was shook. This familiar feeling rose up his mind. What's wrong? Brother. Tang Beiwei noticed Yimo's face change. Come with me, Yimo said heavily and turned to a direction in this garden. Soon, they went on a jade stone path. 10 seconds later, Yimo and them appeared at the top of a very long stairway. He stared at this place for a long time and didn't speak. He was too familiar with these stairs. He saw it at the Dao-seeking tower. Now that he saw this again, the sense of familiarity it gave him immediately made Yimo know that this was the stairs where the woman and him were kicked off by Feng Kong. Brother, what's wrong? Tang Beiwei asked again. Yimo sighed and spoke slowly. Long time ago, I was kicked off from here. Tang Beiwei and Yu Jinxiang both looked at Yimo in shock. Kicked off from here? How could that be possible? This was Feng Kong Grand Emperor's estate. How could Yimo come here? Who is it? Yimo suddenly looked amongst the flowers. His mood was excited when he saw this stairs and didn't notice things. Now that he calmed down, he immediately noticed someone in the flowers. It was a woman. Her looks were pretty but was only Great Eternity Immortal Power level. She held a shovel in her hands as though she was just a flower maid. Her eyes seemed ancient. Sorry, Ling Xiu, disturbed master enjoying the flowers, the Great Eternity Immortal woman said in horror. At first Yimo didn't care, but when the Great Eternity Immortal female immortal finished, Yimo was dazed. He saw a black star pattern under her left ear. When he saw this, his heart started beating fast. When he and that woman was kicked off, there were more than 10 youth and tens of extremely beautiful female immortals next to Feng Kong Grand Emperor. That woman was one of the tens of extremely beautiful women. However, her looks seemed much older. She couldn't bear seeing Feng Kong Grand Emperor kick off the people, so she moved her face to the side. Yimo saw it very clearly. That woman had a star pattern under her left ear. Since he was certain that this woman saw him being kicked off, Yimo had decided to take her away and ask. He had no choice but to ask Feng Kong Grand Emperor before, because no one else here knew. The bad side to that was if Feng Kong didn't want to answer or there was some secret to this, they would end up fighting. If they fought and he couldn't kill Feng Kong, then it would startle Feng Kong. He might kill everyone who knew about this. That way, he would never get the answers. Brother, Tang Beiwei reminded Yi Mo for the third time. She felt her brother didn't seem right ever since coming here. Ha ha, Feng Kong Grand Emperor's laughter sounded. Yi Mo's spirit sense immediately saw Feng Kong Grand Emperor come over. Next to him was Wei Feng Grand Emperor and a bare-chested monk, Du Feng. Brother Yi, Big Monk heard that the tunnel to Lightning Kill Palace shut again, so I could only leave. I came to Hongyu Immortal City and heard you were at the Grand Emperor estate, so I immediately came over with Wei Feng Grand Emperor. You invited me to drink Junyang wine, I must invite you to drink wine, haha. Du Feng laughed very happily. Yi Mo was also very happy seeing Du Feng. He was straightforward and didn't have much schemes. Since brother Du Feng said this, of course Yi Mo would have no objections. Let's go now. Yi Mo wanted to take that Ling Xiu and ask things. Yu Jinxiang and them quickly went up to Du Feng to thank. He saved them at the Ice Carrot Immortal City. Feng Kong Grand Emperor quickly said no problem, although my Grand Emperor estate don't have Junyang black wine, but we have extreme grade immortal wine on par with that. Let's go to the top of the immortal garden and drink 300 cups. Yi Mo heard this and knew that Feng Kong Grand Emperor wasn't going to let him go easily. Luckily Du Feng came and he knew Du Feng. If another Grand Emperor who was Chloe's to Feng Kong Grand Emperor came, then he might be ganged up by them. He was only Immortal Emperor primary stage and he had 3 female immortals with him. If a year or 2 passed and he stabilized his Immortal Emperor primary stage in the time formation disk and used the Emperor Wood Blue Fruit to reach Immortal Emperor middle stage, then even if 3 Grand Emperors joined up he wouldn't be scared. Yi Mo didn't want to stay here. Since Wei Feng Grand Emperor came, that meant that Dragon River Grand Emperor might come. The more he stayed, the more he would be in danger. Just when that Ling Xiu wanted to go, Yi Mo called wait. The Great Eternity Immortal Female Immortal was just a maid. Everyone felt strange that Yi Mo stopped her. Hearing this, the Great Eternity Immortal Female Immortal immediately bowed. Master, if there's anything, please make an order. Yi Mo knew from her extremely calm tone that she had understood what he meant. Perhaps she guessed that he was the one thrown down to reincarnation. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1963, Turn into Enemies. Chapter 1963, Turn into Enemies. Yi Mo nodded and saluted with his fists. Feng Kong Grand Emperor, this female immortal flower caretaking skills are something Yi Mo had never seen before. I also like some flowers, but I need someone to take care of them. Would Grand Emperor be able to give this flower immortal to me? Wei Feng Grand Emperor sneered in contempt. He could clearly tell that Yi Mo wasn't after her skills. He had 3 extremely beautiful female immortal, and now that he saw a pretty flower immortal he wanted her too. Shameless. Even Du Feng thought of Yi Mo that way. Yi Mo had too many women, taking care of some flowers didn't need any capabilities. Feng Kong Grand Emperor was a bit confused too. If Yi Mo didn't bring her up he would have forgot her already. She seemed to be a personal maid before but made a mistake and was getting old, so he casually left her to take care of flowers. She had some beauty, but with how extremely beautiful Yi Mo's women were, how could he be interested in her? Did he really just want to find someone to take care of flowers? Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't know what Yi Mo thought, but he didn't want to give this maid to Yi Mo. He felt Yi Mo didn't have simple motives, but as a guest he invited, Yi Mo had already asked for this maid. If he rejected it, then it would bring down his status. It would be better if there were no one here, but Wei Feng Grand Emperor and Du Feng Monk were both here. Feng Kong Grand Emperor looked at the Great Eternity Immortal Female Immortal and asked plainly, you're a maid, but anyone in my estate has the right to decide where they go. Sect leader Yi wants to take you away, what do you think? His tone was bland, but even Du Feng could tell that Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't want to give her what. Yi Mo hearing this, Yi Mo frowned. Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't want to let her go. Even if Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't want to let her go, he would take this flower immortal even if it meant by force. Everyone thought the female immortal wouldn't leave, and even Feng Kong Grand Emperor knew that after saying that the female immortal would definitely not agree to go with Yi Mo. However, the female immortal bowed to Feng Kong Grand Emperor and said, "Thank you Emperor Feng, I'm willing to leave with sect leader Yi and take care of his garden." Hearing this, Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face immediately sunk. If there wasn't outsiders here, he would have smashed her to pieces already. A mere flower immortal was as irrelevant to him as a rock on the side of the road, but this rock dared to disobey him. This made him extremely furious. He definitely didn't believe that this maid didn't get what he meant. "Haha, great, you're called Ling Xiu, right? Not bad, not bad. You're the #1 flower immortal of my Mo Yu immortal sect now." Yi Mo immediately laughed. Before Feng Kong Grand Emperor could speak, he took out an extreme-grade immortal artifact half-moon sword to her and said, "This is an introduction gift, take it." "Thank you, sect leader," the female immortal said and quickly took the extreme-grade immortal artifact. Yi Mo saluted with his fists to Feng Kong Grand Emperor and said, "Emperor Feng, thank you. You not only gave me a flower but also such a good flower immortal." "No problem." Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face recovered and smiled. "In that case, let's go drink wine. I haven't drank with Wei Feng Grand Emperor and Feng Du Monk for a long time. Now that sect leader Yi is here, this is even better." Yi Mo didn't want to drink wine. His eyes met Shadowless and Shadowless immediately knew what he meant. He immediately sneezed and said, "Oh no, boss, it's not good." Yi Mo praised Shadowless inside. This guy was sometimes unreliable, but most of the time he was useful. Yi Mo's face sunk. "Just what happened? Why are you so startled for?" "Boss, did you forget about yesterday? We said to go today but you still haven't gone yet. If they come to our door, then..." Shadowless couldn't think of anything important and thus could only say yesterday. Yi Mo knew that Shadowless had a lot of tricks but his ideas wasn't good and thus said to Feng Kong Grand Emperor apologetically, "Emperor Feng, I arranged to meet up with friends yesterday. I actually forgot about this today, so I need to go. I'll come visit again next month." How could Feng Kong Grand Emperor not know that Yi Mo wanted to use an excuse to leave? But even with Feng Du Monk here, Yi Mo won't be able to leave. He had heard of how powerful Yi Mo was. If Yi Mo left today, who knows how long it would take to trick him in here again. Feng Kong Grand Emperor knew that he could still kill Yi Mo outside, but he didn't like trouble. If he could easily capture Yi Mo, why not then? Just when Feng Kong Grand Emperor couldn't find a good excuse, the immortal monarch who invited Yi Mo from Ice Carrot Immortal City said, "Master Emperor Feng, you must give me justice. I offended sect leader Yi before, and in just the time you left, sect leader Yi actually raped my Dao partner in the backyard." Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face immediately turned black. "Yi Mo, I invited you to the Grand Emperor estate out of goodwill and yet you're this crazy. You even dare to rape the Dao partner of my men. If I don't take you down, how can I stand in the immortal realm?" Then, Feng Kong Grand Emperor's killing intent spread out. The powerful immortal emperor domain already stretched, wanting to cover Yi Mo and them. Du Feng felt Yi Mo was a good person. He didn't really believe that Yi Mo raped Na Ming immortal monarch's Dao partner, but thinking about how Yi Mo even wanted a flower immortal while he has 3 beautiful women around him, he was a bit confused. Seeing that Feng Kong Grand Emperor was about to fight, he quickly said, "Emperor Feng, wait, let's ask things clear first. Du Feng Monk, this is Grand Emperor Estate private matters. We're outsiders, we have best not to intervene." Wei Feng pulled Du Feng to the side. "Old bastard, the Emperor shall leave first. If you want to fight, I'm down." Then Yi Mo immediately took Shadowless and the Flower Immortal while crushing the teleportation jade card he made. His powerful immortal emperor spread out and the domain that bound them crippled. Seeing Yi Mo wanting to leave, Feng Kong Grand Emperor sneered, "Don't even think about it. If he let sect leader Yi leave in his own cultivation home magic artifact, then he doesn't need to dominate the immortal realm anymore." But soon, his face changed. He found that when he activated his cultivation home, it was bound by something. This was a formation. Feng Kong Grand Emperor was very experienced and immediately realized what was going on. His cultivation home magic artifact was bound by a top formation. Even he needed a few seconds to take it from the formation. However, during this time, Yi Mo and them were wrapped by a white light. Yimo and them disappeared in an instant. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face was green. Yimo escaped from his own cultivation home. This was a huge insult. With his experience, how could he not realize that the reason Yimo didn't come over yesterday was to set up this formation? Clearly, Yimo realized the Grand Emperor estate was a cultivation home yesterday. This person was scary indeed. He must allow such person to leave Qing Wei heaven alive. Just when he wanted to hunt Yimo, his spirit sense saw Yimo outside his cultivation home. He knew that he didn't need to chase. Yimo wasn't scared of him at all. Yimo didn't go indeed. He didn't fear Wei Feng Grand Emperor when he was an immortal monarch. He was now an immortal emperor and way stronger than before. How could he be scared of Feng Kong Grand Emperor? Martial sister you and Shadowless take the rest of them to retreat. Shadowless remember to protect them. Yimo released Zishu and said. Shadowless quickly said boss, I'll help you. Yimo shook his head, I'm not scared of a mere Feng Kong. Even if I can't kill him he wouldn't be able to do anything to me. If I don't teach him a lesson he would think he's the ruler of the entire immortal realm. Yimo hadn't fought since reaching immortal emperor. Now that he fought Feng Kong Grand Emperor it was perfect. Feng Kong Grand Emperor was the #1 immortal emperor of the immortal realm. At the same time, Yimo knew that for people to not attack Mo Yu immortal sect, he would her to spread the news of his battle with Feng Kong. After Shadowless and them retreated, Yimo released his world rock and smashed at Feng Kong Grand Emperor's doors. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1964, Battle with Feng Kong. Chapter 1964, Battle with Feng Kong. Rumble. The sign with the words Feng Kong Emperor Estate was smashed to pieces. That sign was an immortal artifact, but most importantly it symbolized Feng Kong. Now Yimo smashed it. How dare you! Feng Kong Grand Emperor landed outside his estate. He had released his soul-robbing blue cloud brush. Ever since he had become face, no one had dared to attack his cultivation home. Yimo dared to smash his cultivation home right under his eye. If he could take this, he wouldn't be Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Du Feng Monk looked at Yimo with extreme shock. He didn't expect Yimo dared to be this crazy as soon as he reached Immortal Emperor. He had seen Yimo's divine damnation, but even so, Yimo wouldn't be a match for Feng Kong Grand Emperor, right? Wei Feng Grand Emperor had a sliver of a smirk on his mouth. He didn't feel this was strange. He knew Yimo rather well. This guy was a madman. He could publicly annihilate Xianlan Merchant Association and challenge him. He even dared to rob Ji Zong Immortal Emperor's golden bow of immortal extermination. What else couldn't he do? He wouldn't even frown even if Yimo smashed Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate to the ground, much less just a sign. Yimo saw Feng Kong Grand Emperor release the soul-robbing blue cloud brush and immediately put away the world rock. He knew that his world rock was a bit lesser in this battle. He could use it to smash things, but in battle, he would still need to rely on his Zishu. Zishu's level was far from his cultivation level, but he still had top-level god arts. The soul-robbing blue cloud brush was released and a wave of killing runes smashed out. When the brush drew the character yellow, it was only the size of a spoon, but when it landed then entire space was covered by this word. If Feng Kong Grand Emperor wasn't concerned about his cultivation home and Qing Wei heaven, this entire patch of void would be annihilated by this word. Ancient killing intent slowly came out. This was completely different to the murderous killing intent on Abyssal River. Even Wei Feng Grand Emperor and Du Feng released their own domains to protect themselves. When Feng Kong Grand Emperor wrote the word yellow, Du Feng Monk was extremely shocked and subconsciously blurted out, "This is primordial chaos 6-word god art." Wei Feng Grand Emperor was extremely shocked too. He knew that Feng Kong Grand Emperor had always been hiding his power and no one knew his bottom line. But when he saw the word yellow, Wei Feng knew that 2 of him was probably still no match for Feng Kong. In reality, the primordial chaos 6-word god art had 8 words instead of 6 yellow: abstruse, earth, heaven, universe, primordial. Universe and primordial are made up of 2 words in Chinese. Universe and primordial were the 2 most powerful words. At this moment, Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor watched Yimo. He didn't care if Yimo died or not. He wanted to see if Yimo could stop the first word of the god art. If Yimo couldn't, then it would only mean that Yimo fought him with Immortal Emperor primary stage cultivation level. If Yimo stopped it, it meant that Yimo really fought him with Immortal Monarch power. The boundless killing intent in Feng Kong Grand Emperor's domain almost annihilated this space. Yu Jinxiang and them were almost blown away even from at a far distance. If Tang Beiwei wasn't protected by Shadowless domain, she would be blasted to pieces. Even Ning Yu, Yu Jinxiang and that flower immortal were saved because Shadowless devoured the yellow word lethal force. Yimo was shook. He found that he was far from understanding those immortal emperors standing at the peak. He didn't expect Feng Kong Grand Emperor to have such a powerful god art. This one word yellow almost took all the killing intent in the heavens. When Yimo's domain was blasted open by the lethal force, he immediately empowered his Immortal Emperor domain and added Spirit Sense domain on it too. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's domain immediately weakened and that lethal force was stopped by Yimo. It didn't sweep towards Tang Beiwei and them anymore but completely towards Yimo. Yimo's Spirit Sense scanned that Tang Beiwei and them were injured. He was furious. This old bastard was so shameless and attacked Tang Beiwei and them too. He gathered almost all his immortal essence and spirit sense and disregarded the yellow word lethal force and smashed out 5 lightning spear destruction. The next moment, the entire space was covered by Yimo's black lightning. The 5 lightning spear destruction could be instantly released or charged. Charged would be much stronger than instant release. Crack! A huge dragon-like lightning spear struck down from the heavens and completely enveloped Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's powerful Immortal Emperor domain couldn't stop the spear at all and cracked. This world destruction lethal force spewed out from Yimo's fury. Yimo didn't have anything to care about unlike Feng Kong Grand Emperor. He attacked with full power not caring about some Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate. Wei Yifeng Immortal Emperor's face changed. He immediately knew that Yimo was much stronger than when he fought him. Yimo dared to disregard the yellow word lethal force and even his 5 lightning spear destruction wasn't something Wei Yifeng couldn't stop. Du Feng Monk was also shocked watching this. No wonder his divine damnation could kill Wuyin Immortal Emperor. Even if the divine damnation didn't kill Wuyin, Yimo could kill Wuyin Immortal Emperor. Feng Kong Grand Emperor felt this the most. He was the most shocked. He had tried to overestimate Yimo but he still didn't expect Yimo was this powerful and this cocky to disregard the lethal force he threw at him. Only someone who didn't fear death would do such a crazy act. Feng Kong Grand Emperor knew why Yimo did this because he tried to kill Yimo's women. The lightning spears carried deeper lethal force and even swept in Feng Kong Grand Emperor's yellow word killing intent in. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face was serious. He waved out a defense shield. It looked very ordinary but only those who saw it knew it was Feng Kong Grand Emperor's best defense magic artifact, Chen Yuan Divine Shield. He didn't dare to attack a spearhead with spearhead like Yimo. After the shield was released, the yellow word killing intent had been suppressed by Yimo's 5 lightning spear destruction and couldn't reach Yimo. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's soul-robbing blue cloud brush kept swiping in mid-air. A spoon-sized abstruse rose up and expanded covering half the heavens and pressed on that yellow word. The yellow word immediately lit up and even more terrifying broke through Yimo's Immortal Emperor domain and charged at Yimo with even faster speed. Wei Yifeng Immortal Emperor said nothing. He knew that if all 6 words could be released, Yimo wouldn't be escape even if he was Divine Emperor. However, Wei Yifeng Immortal Emperor knew that Feng Kong Grand Emperor wouldn't be able to do 6 words, at most it was 3. Yimo didn't expect Feng Kong Grand Emperor's god art to essence blood this powerful. When the yellow word broke through his domain, Yimo smashed out 5 lightning spear destruction. At the same time, Yimo fused his spirit sense into a crevice god art. When the abstruse word pressed down, even Yimo's immortal god body tertiary stage couldn't handle it. A few blood arrows shot out. The place he was at was protected by Immortal Emperor domain but was still smashed apart. A huge ravine formed and the yellow word killing intent was still ravaging the place. The ravine was growing bigger. At the same time, Yimo's 5 lightning spear destruction tore open Feng Kong Grand Emperor's domain. When Yimo reached Immortal Emperor, the 5 lightning spear destruction's terror wasn't something ordinary Immortal Emperor peak stage could compare with. His 5 lightning spear destruction was fused with the murderous killing intent from the Abyssal River as well as countless black lightning source. No matter how high-level Feng Kong Grand Emperor's shield was, it was rumbling under this 5 lightning spear destruction. Before the void ripples created were gone, Yimo's second 5 lightning spear destruction came. It didn't attack Feng Kong Grand Emperor directly but smashed on the bottom of the previous 5 lightning spear destruction, stacking together. Yimo used all his might this time without holding back. Instantly, the Qian Yuan Divine Shield shaked and the force on it dimmed down. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1965, Fight in Suppression. Chapter 1965, Fight in Suppression. Feng Kong Grand Emperor had been an immortal emperor for countless years. His immortal essence was extremely dense. He immediately used his immortal essence and spirit sense wanting to empower the shield. But before he could do that, an invisible and shapeless void crevice appeared in his sea of consciousness. Not good, this was spirit sense god art. How could Feng Kong Grand Emperor not know the power of spirit sense god art? He didn't understand how Yimo had such a powerful spirit sense god art. This was on par or even stronger than Wushuang Immortal Emperor. But when he realized this, it was too late. Yimo's blade struck Feng Kong Grand Emperor's sea of consciousness. Feng Kong Grand Emperor felt his sea of consciousness was blasted by lightning and this extreme pain came. A 10-kilometer-long sword ray suddenly appeared in his sea of consciousness. Its force was grand and almost hacked his sea of consciousness in 2 halves. Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't dare to take things easy at all. His spirit sense immediately formed a powerful spirit sense wall wanting to block this blade. However, this was Yimo's spirit sense god art that suddenly attacked. It was too hard to block it with just his spirit sense wall. In just an instant, his spirit sense wall cracked. At the same time, his sea of consciousness started to cripple. Feng Kong Grand Emperor immediately spat blood. He ate a green fruit without hesitation. After that his sea of consciousness immediately started to repair. Although it was still under Yimo's crevice god art bombardment, it wasn't as bad as before. With Feng Kong Grand Emperor's sea of consciousness ambushed, the Qian Yuan Divine Shield couldn't stop Yimo's 5 lightning spear destruction without Feng Kong Grand Emperor's empowerment. 5 lightning spear destruction blasted it away and pierced Feng Kong Grand Emperor's body, bringing out 5 blood arrows. Feng Kong Grand Emperor was smashed away into his cultivation home door. If it wasn't the Qian Yuan Divine Shield, Feng Kong Grand Emperor would be dismembered by this 5 lightning spear destruction. Feng Kong Grand Emperor wasn't the Feng Kong Grand Emperor who wore emperor robes with emperor crest before. His hair was messy and his face pale. His armor had turned to pieces. The blood holes on his body had recovered, but he was still covered in blood. If he didn't have a God Jade Chan fruit, his sea of consciousness would have been crippled by Yimo's attack. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's hand holding the soul-robbing blue cloud brush was shaky. If his sea of consciousness wasn't ambushed by Yimo, he might even have the upper hand now. He could use 3 words of the primordial chaos 6 words god art. When his earth word smashed out, Yimo definitely wouldn't be able to stop it. Because sea of consciousness was ambushed, he was heavily injured before he could use the abstruse. Although he would definitely not allow Yimo's spirit sense god art to smash into his sea of consciousness again, but he already suffered from that now. He tried to estimate highly of Yimo but didn't expect Yimo had power on par to his. Now that his sea of consciousness was heavily injured, he was probably no match for Yimo. He didn't want to fight this battle anymore. But this wasn't up to him. From the looks of it, Yimo wasn't much better than Feng Kong Grand Emperor. After the yellow word was empowered by the abstruse word, Yimo's body had been ravaged. A few fine lethal rays pierced his body and he still hasn't recovered the injuries yet. Yimo was immortal god body tertiary stage body, so his recovery powers were much more powerful. His ability to take damage was much stronger than ordinary cultivators. Yimo didn't have any immortal armor, but he sustained much lighter injuries than Fengkong Grand Emperor. When he flew out from Fengkong Grand Emperor's killing intent ravine, Zishu hacked out again. This time, it wasn't Spirit Sense crevice but the real crevice god art. Yimo knew clearly that for someone like Fengkong Grand Emperor, the Spirit Sense god art can only be used for ambush. If he attacked with it again and again, it would have any effect. Stop! Fengkong Grand Emperor saw that Yimo didn't care and was about to fight. He quickly yelled. Yimo wasn't going to care. He would fight when he wanted to and stop when he wanted to. Who did Fengkong think he was? His Zishu sliced out 100 kilometers purple ray and covered half of Fengkong Grand Emperor estate. When this crevice struck out, the nearby 1,000-kilometer of lethal force was drawn by this blade. The space lethal force was pressurized and instantly became fierce. There was a sliver of murderous Kai and lightning rumbling. Ever since Yimo came back from Qingwei Abyssal River, his lethal force formed a unique system. Now that he reached Immortal Emperor, and fused Junyang Black Wine's killing intent, his god Art's lethal force was even more sharp. The killing intent and lethal force in this strike was heavenly. The lightning also went from thin to thick as the blade fell. The lethal force spread. Even though Yimo retained some not wanting to damage Qingwei Heaven, but some stronger people in Qingwei Heaven already felt it, much less Hongyu Immortal City. Countless immortals flew over to watch this terrifying Immortal Emperor battle. Zishu's killing intent was becoming more and more murderous and crazy. It completely controlled this space. Fengkong Grand Emperor's face looked more and more bad. He knew that the force of Yimo's strike had risen. If he didn't deal with it, he would be suppressed and beaten. He forcefully released Chen Yuan Divine Shield again. The 30 kilometers shield light instantly covered him. Fengkong Grand Emperor didn't plan to attack, he was completely on the defense. Yimo's god art force had completed. Even Wei Yifeng and Du Feng could tell that a heavily injured Fengkong Grand Emperor wouldn't be able to defend against this even if he completely went on the defense. Mu Rueguang on the side was scared watching this. He completely forgot about capturing Tang Beiwei and them first. He knew that Yimo was stronger than him, but he didn't expect Yimo to be able to suppress Fengkong Grand Emperor to this degree. At this moment, he couldn't care. He released a huge red bell and smashed towards Yimo's heaven-shocking blade. Crack! The purple sword ray carried endless killing intent and hacked down. Mu Rueguang's red bell was instantly smashed away. Mu Rueguang flew back spitting blood like crazy. A crevice appeared on his body. Just one move and he couldn't fight again. If Yimo's main target was him, his body might have even crippled. A heavy thud sounded and the purple sword ray eased. It smashed on Fengkong Grand Emperor's shield again, but due to Mu Rueguang's attack, it wasn't able to hurt Fengkong Grand Emperor. Yimo didn't mind at all that his move didn't succeed. Just as Fengkong Grand Emperor blocked the move, his immortal essence force rose again. Fengkong Grand Emperor's face was green. He really didn't want to keep fighting with Yimo, but he couldn't stop it. And looking at how crazy Yimo was, he clearly didn't want to stop. Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor saw this and knew that Fengkong didn't want to keep fighting. He came out and saluted with his fists. Sect leader Yi, everyone is just play fighting. We should stop at the right time. If you guys keep fighting, even our Qingwei Heaven Hongyu Immortal City will be destroyed. If there's only my Hongyu Immortal City, then I don't mind, but there are countless immortals here. If the city is destroyed, it would be a disaster for the people here. Yimo sneered. He knew how shameless Wei Yifeng Immortal Emperor was. There were countless immortals watching here. Even if he controlled his immortal essence and avoided the Immortal City, the countless immortals here would still side with Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor. This guy was the epitome of shamelessness. If Yimo was at the lower hand, Wei Yifeng would definitely not say a thing. Wei Yifeng, did you not take the lesson I taught you last time? Don't worry. If I kill you today, not a corner of Hongyu Immortal City will be destroyed. Yimo said and then punched out. The fist force instantly swept the nearby space into an endless space storm that smashed at Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor with ripples. Fist God Art, Void. Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor's face changed. He didn't think Yimo was crazy to this extent. He was battling Feng Kong Grand Emperor and still dared to publicly offend him. But Wei Yifeng didn't dare to take it lightly at all. He released the 49 stars forming star swirls that clashed with Yimo's fist force. The already messy estate ground was plowed again. Immortal essence burst out, squeezing the nearby space, cracking. Feng Kong Grand Emperor had recovered a bit now and released the soul-robbing blue cloud brush again, planning to attack Yimo with Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor. Seeing this, Du Feng quickly came up and persuaded you three, please listen to me, let's stop fighting for now. Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't want to keep fighting with Yimo anyways. This wasn't because he was scared of Yimo, but Yimo ambushed his sea of consciousness and he couldn't fully release his primordial chaos 6 words God art. Otherwise, Yimo would be the one suppressed in the battle. Now that Du Feng intervened, he didn't keep fighting and just looked at Yimo with a sunken face. Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor clashed one move with Yimo and his heart sunk. He knew this was Yimo's most ordinary god art. Compared to when he fought Yimo before, Yimo's cultivation level had risen by more than multiple times. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. As someone trying to break up the fight, of course he didn't want to keep fighting Yimo. He already stopped. As someone trying to break up the fight, of course he didn't want to keep fighting Yimo. He already stopped. Yimo nodded to Du Feng and didn't keep attacking. He could tell Feng Kong Grand Emperor had recovered a bit. He already couldn't stoop the 2 words, if another word came it would be much more than getting injured. Luckily his spirit sense god art injured Feng Kong's sea of consciousness. Feng Kong seemed concerned, but so was Yimo. Feng Kong's sea of consciousness was blasted and was pretty much fine after eating a fruit. He had to be careful. It wasn't any time he could ambush a sea of consciousness, especially Feng Kong's. I entered Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate because I admired Feng Kong Grand Emperor, but Feng Kong is such a bleak character. He tried to use a pathetic excuse to subjugate me with his cultivation home artifact. If Feng Kong doesn't give me a clear resolution, I'm not going to take this, Yimo said loudly. Although Yimo looked tattered, everyone could tell that Feng Kong Grand Emperor was no match for Yimo. Perhaps only Feng Kong and Yimo knew themselves that neither of them could surely win the other. Yimo then waved his hand and Na Ming Immortal Monarch, who was amongst the crowd, was thrown onto the ground in front of Yimo. The Dao partner of a pig like you deserves for me to rape? Phut! Yimo raised Zishu, and before Feng Kong Grand Emperor could stop, a purple rainbow sliced across and Na Ming Immortal Monarch was turned to bloody mist. Feng Kong Grand Emperor's face was so bleak water could rip out. This Yi was this cocky, publicly smashing his Grand Emperor estate and killing his manager. He wanted to go up and tear Yimo to pieces, but his sea of consciousness hasn't completely recovered. He wanted to resist this again, but if he did, he would never have any face again. If Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor truly wanted to help him, he would really want to fight with his life, but he knew that Wei Yifeng Grand Emperor only helped him superficially. If they really fought, Wei Yifeng would definitely conserve his own strength and might even bite him back. Although he had a few immortal emperors, they were nothing to Yimo. Even Immortal Emperor Tertiary Stage Mu Rueguang was smashed to heavy injury in one move, much less other Immortal Emperor Primary Stages. The onlooking immortals saw that Yimo dared to kill Feng Kong Grand Emperor Estate's manager Na Ming Immortal Monarch, and all stared at Yimo with their mouth wide open. Those who didn't know Yimo quickly asked around who Yimo was. Feng Kong Grand Emperor still wasn't able to attack and was stopped by Du Feng. Du Feng only stopped casually. As an Immortal Emperor peak stage, he could tell that if Feng Kong and Wei Yifeng joined up, Yimo might not be a match. What he didn't expect was that he received that much face. That casual stop prevented Feng Kong Grand Emperor from attacking again. Ha ha, a seductive voice sounded, breaking the tense atmosphere. At the same time, a pink-robed, extremely beautiful immortal landed before Yimo. Big brother, am I that ugly, not even deserving of you to rape? This red-robed woman appeared, saying things that confused people. Yimo stared at this red-robed immortal calmly and asked, who are you? Yimo didn't take a mere Immortal Emperor Primary Stage seriously. He felt strange about her apparel. She wore a pink immortal dress but dragged the clothes down to show half her chest. She wore nothing on her foot. Her foot was small and white. I'm the Dao partner of the Na Ming you killed. Oh, that's a long time ago. I came past Hongyu Immortal City today and heard that you weren't interested in raping me, so I felt disappointed. The red-robed Immortal Emperor looked down as though she was truly disappointed. Yimo couldn't be bothered talking anymore as his killing intent swept out. After the battle with Feng Kong Grand Emperor, his knowledge of lethal force grew again. Red-robed Immortal Emperor immediately sensed Yimo's killing intent. Her face changed immediately. She knew that although Yimo looked like an Immortal Emperor primary stage like her, 10 of her might not be a match for him. Big brother, I have no ill will. You helped me kill Na Ming, that bastard. I'm very grateful. If this guy didn't rely on someone to back him up, I would have killed him already. And after I left this bastard, he never had a Dao partner, so I know his framing you. She said. Yimo was confused. She clearly came to speak for him. Where did she come from? She didn't even fear Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Her words would offend Feng Kong Grand Emperor. I'm Tong Ranran, title Wei Hai. I'm from Nan Yu Immortal City Xiong Spirit Kai Palace. If Big Brother comes to my Xiong Spirit Kai Palace, I will greet you with bare foot. Tong Ranran seemed to know that Yimo was going to keep fighting Feng Kong Grand Emperor and quickly moved to the side. She was barefoot already. Yimo didn't care what she said again. Sect leader Yi, this thing is clearly manager Na Ming causing trouble. Now that he's killed by you, I believe sect leader Yi is reasonable. Everyone take a step back and I think we can end this here. Wei Feng Immortal Emperor tried to be the good guy. Yimo was extremely furious that Feng Kong tried to kill Tang Beiwei and them at the start, but he knew that Feng Kong Grand Emperor's Sea of Consciousness has pretty much recovered now, but his body hasn't recovered yet. This was Feng Kong's land. It wasn't good to keep fighting. With Feng Kong's dominance, if he asked Feng Kong to compensate, they would fight again. Plus, he earned from this. He smashed Feng Kong's cultivation home sign, injured his Sea of Consciousness, and even took a Bing Feng flower. The golden bow of immortal extermination was Yimo's trump care. He wasn't going to use it unless at a life and death situation. Most people knew Yimo had 1 arrow, but little did people know he had 3. On Du Feng's account, I'll let you again. Feng Kong, next time you offend me I will kill you for certain. Feng Kong wanted face, but Yimo wasn't going to give it to him. Feng Kong Grand Emperor calmed down and sneered, bastard, you only know how to ambush. The Emperor also will warn you, don't fall in my hands again. Yimo ignored Feng Kong Grand Emperor and said to Du Feng, brother Du Feng, I'm going back, if you have time come drink at my Mo Yu Immortal Sect. Haha. Big Monk will definitely go. Du Feng laughed. Tong Ranran saw things here were over and quickly said, Brother Yi, would you be able to show up at my Xiong Spirit Kai Palace? Our palace lord admires Brother Yi greatly. Yimo didn't know what place that was, but just looking at Tong Ranran, he didn't want to have any connections with that place. Thank your palace lord, I'm busy right now so I won't go today. We'll talk about it later. Okay. Then Ranran and Palace Lord will wait for Brother Yi's grand arrival. Tong Ranran laughed again and bowed. Seeing Yimo and them leave on the space-time boat, the nearby immortals were all shocked with their jaws dropping. This sect leader Yi was more than just amazing. An Immortal Emperor primary stage smashed Feng Kong Grand Emperor's estate and killed Na Ming Immortal Monarch in front of Feng Kong Grand Emperor, but Feng Kong Grand Emperor could only watch him leave. What shocked them more was that Xiong Spirit Kai Palace invited Yimo, but Yimo rejected them. Yimo and them took the teleportation formation from Qing Wei Heaven and left immediately. Martial sister Yu, do you know what Xiong Spirit Kai Palace is? When they came to Chong Rong Heaven, Yimo asked Yu Jinxiang. Yu Jinxiang nodded. I know, it's a very mysterious sect that's just below the Ice God Palace. I heard the palace only has 1 Immortal Emperor and that's the Palace Lord. I've never heard the Palace Lord change, and the Palace Lord is extremely powerful. However, no sect in the immortal realm can invite her. Yimo immediately said they definitely have more than 1 Immortal Emperor. That Tong Ranran is an Immortal Emperor. Keep talking. Yu Jinxiang said they have male and female sect members. The people inside are strange. The female sect members inside are very sexual. If they like a male there, they can even have sex on the streets. If the male sect members are interested in one woman, they would chase them to the ends of the world. For someone they didn't, they would rather suicide than comply. Such a psychotic sect. Tang Beiwei said in contempt. Hearing this, Yimo didn't want to have any connections with them and said to Shadowless, control the ship to fly to Longyu Immortal Mountain. Yimo came to Changrong Heaven wanting to see if Li Kuan was back. If not, he would head to the Middle Heaven domain from here and then to the Low Heaven domain. A day later, Yimo was hospitably received by Longyu Immortal Mountain, but Li Kuan was back. Yimo could only leave. He called that Ling Xiu into a room. Everyone knew that Yimo had important business with her. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1967, Mo Yoshan's Death. Chapter 1967, Mo Yoshan's Death. South Peace State Pill City. This was previously the #1 city of Luoyu continent and the only 10-star city, but now it was far from its former glory. It was barely a pill city now. All the high-level pill kings had pretty much left. Only some low-level pill masters stay here to survive. Before, one could smell pill aroma 100 km from the pill city, but now even if you enter the pill city, you can only barely feel its former glory. At this moment, an extremely beautiful woman carried a long sword on her back and walked towards the pill city. She stood outside the city and looked at the rusty words Pill City for a long time before murmuring, "Did Dad become famous here? Is the 12 Pill King stairs still here?" Then, she slowly walked in the city. This was Yimo's daughter Yimo. Ever since getting the immortal Carnage Tower, her cultivation speed was just below Su Jingwen. She was even faster than Luo Ying. After Su Jingwen ascended to the immortal realm, she reached truth realization state peak stage in a few decades. However, she had passed her divine damnation and still couldn't ascend. Yimo was very desperate. Although there was her mum and a few aunties in the Moyu city and more familiar people, she thought that her dad must be lonely in the immortal realm. Plus, who knows if Auntie Jingwen could find Dad? Auntie Jingwen's cultivation speed is much faster than hers, but in terms of fighting, Auntie Jingwen was far from a match for her. Almost everyone in Moyu City was working hard on cultivation, but only Yimo left Moyu City alone to travel the entire Luoyu continent. In this 100 years, she had been through the 4 big states and even the Heartless Sea many times. Her 12 lightning orbs were invincible, and even her Infinity 7-star umbrella was rarely matched. Even without her cultivation level, she just had to say Yimo's name and she would be respected in the 4 states. Yimo didn't want to always be under the protection of Yimo. She had always relied on herself, but as time went on, even when she didn't say Yimo's name, most people knew she was Yimo's only daughter. Because she knew about the Yin Hai domain from Guangwei, she even went there but didn't find anyone in Yin Hai City. Even so, she still stayed there a few years to spirit control the small world and throw out all the random buildings inside. She completely reorganized this small world. The reason she could do this so quickly was mainly due to Yimo's spirit sense cultivation method. What disappointed her was that she had searched for 100 years and still couldn't find why Luoyu continent couldn't have immortal ascension. This time, she went from West Extreme State back to South Peace State and looked at this barren pill city. Yimo went to Yimo where Yimo won. There were only a few Foundation Establishment State and Golden Core State cultivators dealing. It was mostly Kai-gathering cultivators. Yimo exclaimed. She had almost fanaticized that one day she ascended to the immortal realm and gathered with Dad, Mum and other aunties. Yimo sighed and didn't want to stay here. She planned to go back to Moyu City. She felt disappointed that compared to Dad she was almost that bit off. Luoyu continent cultivators couldn't immortal ascend before, but Dad went to West Extreme State and broke the immortal formation from the Sand River. Because of this, the Luoyu continent cultivators always has this fear and respect towards Moyu City. Now that Luoyu cultivators were stuck in this curse of unable to ascend again. Just when Yimo turned and was about to leave the Pill City, her spirit sense scanned a grey-robed cultivator taking a man and woman into the Spirit Rest Tower. Seeing that grey-robed cultivator, Yimo felt strange. When she looked carefully, she saw that this person looked similar to Dad. Yimo immediately covered her face and followed them into the tower. This person was only hollow spirit state tertiary stage, but the other two was disaster transformation state peak stage and truth realization state level 4. Yimo's spirit sense was many levels more powerful than ordinary cultivators due to Yimo's spirit sense cultivation method and pills. She chose a room next to them and her spirit sense pierced the room. Martial brother Mo, Han Qianbei is face repairing holy hand. No one is better than Han Qianbei on this in Luo Yu continent. We'll repair the face at Pill City and then use an opportunity to get to Mo Yu City and appear heavily injured and get found. The disaster transformation state female cultivator said. That martial brother Mo quickly got up and said thank you Qianbei, but Yimo's women knows him very well. I might be easily spotted out. At the Pill City, Ning Qingxue suspected I was Yimo on first glance but she immediately recognized I wasn't. However, Yimo's daughter is rather easier to trick. This was Mo Yushan who had enmity with Yimo. He had constantly wanted to get revenge from Yimo but his talent really wasn't good. Even now, he was only hollow spirit state tertiary stage. Truth realization state level 4 Han Qianbei sneered if it wasn't your master asking me for help how can I help you? With my powers, even if you don't look like Yimo at all I can change you into him much less you resemble him. That's right. Master said Han Qianbei definitely has the power to help martial brother accomplish his goal. Martial brother Mo don't doubt Mo Qianbei. The disaster transformation state woman nodded and said. Yes, WN Bei is wrong, Qianbei please forgive me. Because WN Bei's cultivation progress is slow. If this continues, WN Bei would never be able to ascend to the immortal realm. Even if one day I can, Yimo's women would've have ascended already. How can I get my revenge? Mo Yushan got up and said. Han Qianbei sneered if it's just changing your face into Yimo's, how can it show my abilities? I can even change your Kai into Yimo's. You just have to find some people who have come in contact to describe to me. If those mere women can see through my means I, Han Juping, wouldn't be called Ghost Frost Holy Hand. Yimo heard this and was furious. That person looking like her dad was trying to change into her dad and trick people at Mo Yu City. How could she tolerate this? If his Kai was really changed into dad's and then he was heavily injured and couldn't speak nor show his cultivation level then mother and aunties might really fall for it. I've already researched. Yimo didn't have any immortal ascension divine damnation. He suddenly disappeared. He's either dead or snuck into the immortal realm. Mo Yushan said happily. Martial brother, master said your mind state isn't stable. If you don't get revenge personally, you will be stuck like this for the rest of your life. Master used a lot of effort to help you. After you get revenge, you must go back and cultivate. The female cultivator said. Martial sister Dan and I understand. I won't betray master and your hope. Mo Yushan didn't finish and their room was kicked open. A veiled woman with an extremely good-looking body appeared. Who are you? Why did you barge into our room? Mo Yushan was the weakest but his temper wasn't small. Yimo took off her mask. Open your eyes and look. Yimo is my dad, how dare you pretend to be him, you're asking to die. Han Juping reached out to grab Yimo with cultivation essence giant hand as soon as Yimo took off her mask but Yimo was too much stronger than him. She reached out with cultivation essence giant hand and that hand's cultivation essence giant hand immediately dispersed. Truth realization state peak stage? Han Juping was extremely shocked and wanted to leave immediately. That Dan heard this and also wanted to flee. She chose the opposite direction to Han. Mo Yushan's face was pale. He wanted to run of course but before he could leave the room, Yimo's cultivation essence giant hand crushed him into nothing. Not even his essence spirit was left. Yimo had been through a lot roaming Luo Yu continent these years. She was decisive in killing. She immediately chased that Han truth realization state cultivator. Qianbei, this has nothing to do with me. His face-changing capabilities were top-notch but his cultivation level was too weak. He was subjugated by Yimo before he could even flee Pill City. How could Yimo let such person go? She smashed out her 12 lightning orbs instantly binding this Han. Han barely released his shield and was smashed to pieces. At this moment, that disaster transformation state female immortal had gotten away already. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1968, Past Life. Chapter 1968, Past Life. You know the reason why I called you here, right? Yimo looked at Ling Xiu and asked heavily. Hearing this, Ling Xiu immediately knelt down on the ground and said, "Yes, young master." Young master? Yimo raised his hand and brought Ling Xiu on her seat. His tone was a bit displeased. "What do you mean by young master?" Ling Xiu's tone calmed down. Her eyes seemed to see something distant instead of the scene before her eyes. After a long while, she answered, "Because you're the young master of Feng Kong Grand Emperor Estate. You were there since you were young, we called you young master." "Wait," Yimo interrupted her. He definitely didn't believe he was Feng Kong Grand Emperor's son. With his current instinct, how could he have no feelings if he was Feng Kong Grand Emperor's son? Plus, even if he was, Ling Xiu definitely wouldn't abandon Feng Kong Grand Emperor and follow him. This time, Ling Xiu kept saying, "Feng Kong Grand Emperor has 43 children and you're just one of them. I've never seen snow that big in the immortal realm, but the snowflakes that year made me know that snow can fall 50-meter thick." That year, Feng Kong Grand Emperor invited all the big immortal emperors of the immortal realm to hold immortal fruit party. Sister Ningxi and I went to greet all the immortal emperors. "Sister Ningxi, we haven't had such a serious immortal fruit party in the Grand Emperor Estate for so long. Do you know the reason this time?" An extremely pretty Gong Lingxiu asked another beautiful maid. This maid was Wen Ningxi. She was older and stayed at the estate for long. She knew things others didn't, so when people didn't know things they liked to ask her. Ningxi whispered Ling Xiu, "We shouldn't discuss this here. We're welcoming the top immortal emperors of the immortal realm. Don't talk." Before she finished, she saw a dashing light landing before Grand Emperor Estate in a rush. This was a white-robed woman, but her white dress was covered in blood. When she landed, she immediately laid on the snow, not moving at all. Clearly she was heavily injured. Ningxi went up immediately and helped this woman up. When the rest of the people saw this woman, they were dumbfounded. They had never seen such a beautiful woman. Feng Kong Grand Emperor had plenty of beautiful concubines, but never one as good as this. Her eyes were tightly shut and her face pale. If she wasn't heavily injured, she might be even prettier. Such a beautiful female immortal. Those maids were shocked. Ningxi suddenly reacted and carried this injured female immortal and said, "You guys go greet the immortal emperors, I'll take this sister in to treat her." Yimo interrupted Ling Xiu. "Ling Xiu, what does this have to do with me?" Ling Xiu shook and woke up from her memories. She said respectfully the white-robed female immortal was heavily injured, but it wasn't lethal. After 2 months' recovery, she could gradually walk. But one day, Feng Kong Grand Emperor walked past our maid residence and saw that female immortal. The first time he saw her, he couldn't move his feet again. Yimo frowned, he didn't feel very comfortable. Feng Kong Grand Emperor was immediately going to take her. Sister Ningxi couldn't object the will of Feng Kong Grand Emperor, of course, and could only watch her getting taken away. Luckily, Feng Kong Grand Emperor suddenly turned back and pointed at Ningxi to go serve this female immortal and be her maid. Ling Xiu said Feng Kong Grand Emperor wanted that female immortal to be his concubine, but that female immortal was pregnant. She insisted on giving birth to the child before marrying Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Feng Kong Grand Emperor agreed, and 4 months later, that female immortal gave birth to a boy. Yimo once again had this extremely suffocating feeling. He subtly felt that he was related to that boy. Ling Xiu looked at Yimo and said slowly, "Young master, that boy is you. Ever since you were born you didn't have a name. Sister Ningxi called you Yua. Although you weren't Feng Kong Grand Emperor's son, people outside didn't know. They called you young master." Feng Kong Grand Emperor said nothing about it. Yimo suddenly got up. What he saw in the Dao Seeking Tower was indeed his past life. "You know that person is you?" Yimo looked at Ling Xiu and asked coarsely. Ling Xiu said respectfully, if the youth who was kicked off the stairs by Feng Kong Grand Emperor is you, then you're him. Seeing Yi Mo in silence, Ling Xiu sighed. After you were born, your mother kept using you as an excuse to delay the wedding. For the first time, Feng Kong Grand Emperor had the forbearance. He waited 16 years. But ever since you were born your cultivation speed was very slow because you had 8-element mixed spirit root. Your mother asked Feng Kong Grand Emperor for large amounts of treasure to change spirit root. However, your spirit root couldn't be cleansed nor improved. Was it this reason that Feng Kong Grand Emperor kicked me off? Yi Mo asked. Ling Xiu shook her head. No, once your mother realized your talent couldn't be changed, she was extremely disappointed too. More than once had she looked at you and sighed, shaking her head. When Feng Kong Grand Emperor asked to marry your mother, she left the Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate alone. Yi Mo's heart sunk. His mother left and abandoned him in the Forbidden Grounds estate. Ling Xiu said after knowing this, Feng Kong Grand Emperor was furious. You were the young master of the estate, so he couldn't kill you. Luckily Sister Ningxi treated you as her own child and took care of you, allowing to live. One day, you stood on a flower a princess liked. That princess cried. In his fury, Feng Kong Grand Emperor didn't keep tolerating you even though Ningxi begged. He kicked you and Sister Ningxi off the stairs and made people throw you into the cultivation realm for rebirth. I didn't dare to beg nor did I dare to look. Yi Mo sighed. Luckily, Feng Kong Grand Emperor let me live and didn't turn me to dust. Ling Xiu shook her head. The reason Feng Kong Grand Emperor threw you into the cultivation realm is because your mother once made Feng Kong Grand Emperor swear an oath that he can't intentionally kill you no matter what nor prevent you from cultivation. That's why you got to live in a cultivation realm. Yi Mo's heart was cold. His mother didn't take him when she left, but soon Yi Mo sighed. Maybe his mother couldn't get away at the time too. If she took him, then maybe both of them would die. Perhaps she left to get help. But in reality, Yi Mo knew that his mother definitely didn't do that, but he didn't want to keep asking. Where is Ningxi Qianbei now? Yi Mo had endless gratefulness to this maid. Ling Xiu sighed. After you were thrown off, Sister Ningxi came to me and said she would go to that cultivation realm to find you. Because your mother is constantly cultivating, you were brought up by Sister Ningxi. She had feelings for you and was scared you would suffer in the cultivation realm, so she wanted to take care of you. She left the Feng Kong Grand Emperor estate that night and I've never heard from her since. What's my mother called? Yi Mo asked. Ling Xiu shook her head. We don't know, she never said her name nor where she came from. Yi Mo fell silent. As though feeling Yi Mo's loss, she took out 2 crystals and gave it to Yi Mo. Young master, this is your mother and Sister Ningxi. Yi Mo took them. One crystal ball was of a woman. It was indeed the woman holding him in the Tao-seeking tower. The other woman's face was obscured, but even so, one could see her unparalleled looks. Putting the 2 crystal balls away, Yi Mo looked at Ling Xiu and said, Ling Xiu Qianbei, don't call me young master anymore. Just call me Yi Mo. Yi Mo sighed. I'm Gong Hua Heaven Mo Yu Immortal Sect leader. If you don't mind, stay at my Mo Yu Immortal Sect. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1969, Joyful Reunion. Chapter 1969, Joyful Reunion. Ling Xiu sighed. The reason she dared to go against Feng Kong Grand Emperor and follow Yi Mo was because her lifespan was at its end. When she knew that Yi Mo was the reincarnation of that youth Sister Ningxi took care of, she immediately decided to tell him about Sister Ningxi. She didn't expect that 8-element mixed spirit root youth whose cultivation speed was extremely slow could now suppress Feng Kong Grand Emperor. This was unimaginable. Of course I'm willing to stay at Mo Yu Immortal Sect. My life is nearing its end, I have nowhere to go. I miss Sister Ningxi very much. If Sister Ningxi knows you have today, she would be very happy. Don't call me Qianbei anymore, just call me Auntie Xiu. Ling Xiu sighed. Auntie Xiu, you have endless years of life, how could you be? Yi Mo saw that Ling Xiu didn't intervene and took out a bottle of pill to her. Auntie Xiu, this 5 Yi King pills. I believe no matter how bad your talent is you can reach Immortal King. Plus, Mo Yu Immortal Sect Immortal Spirit Kai will be the most famous in the entire 33 heavens. Yimo really wasn't bullshitting. He had this many extreme grade immortal ranges and he was infinitely near level 9 Immortal Formation Grandmaster. Once he returned to Mo Yu Immortal Sect, he would plant some immortal range underneath the sect and city and then modify sect protection formation again. 5 special grade Yi King pills? Ling Xiu opened the jade bottle and looked before asking dazily. The main reason she couldn't break through was because she didn't have cultivation resource nor pills. There was no way a maid like her could be rewarded with a pill. As for escaping the Immortal Emperor estate, it was absurd. If the Immortal Emperor hung out a wanted sign, then she would be caught no matter where she fled to. She saw that Yimo cared a lot about Sister Ningxi and that's why she didn't dare to say Ningxi might have been killed before she could flee the Grand Emperor estate. She saw the battle between Yimo and Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Although it seemed that Yimo had the upper hand, but she didn't believe Yimo could do anything to Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Only those who always stayed near Feng Kong Grand Emperor would know about his real power. Feng Kong Grand Emperor definitely had top means that he didn't use, but she didn't know that Yimo's most powerful mean wasn't used too. Yes, Auntie Xiu. See if these pills are enough for you to reach Immortal King. If not, I still have more. I can definitely let you reach Immortal King, don't worry. Yimo smiled and asked. Ling Xiu quickly got up and said it's enough, definitely enough. I don't need this many. She was ready to die and thus told Yimo to call her auntie, but now that she knew that she definitely wasn't going to die and was going to reach Immortal King, her mindset changed. Yimo could see this and sighed. Auntie Xiu, no matter what, you were Auntie Ningxi's friend. In my heart, you're an elder. You can stay at Mo Yu Immortal Sect. I'm certain that Feng Kong Grand Emperor definitely won't dare to come to Mo Yu Immortal Sect. Even if he does, he would kill me first. As long as I don't die, he wouldn't dare to do anything. Ling Xiu took the pills and her face eased. Sect leader, you need to be careful of him. He still has some means that he hasn't used yet. He isn't as simple of a character as he shows. Yimo nodded. He knew that if he didn't use Golden Bow of Immortal Extermination 3 arrows, it was extremely hard to defeat Feng Kong Grand Emperor. That ambush won't work again. Plus, he didn't know if Feng Kong Grand Emperor had other lethal moves. But Yimo believed as time went on, the difference between Feng Kong and him would only grow. He would eventually far surpass Feng Kong, so he wasn't worried at all. There was no rush to kill Feng Kong. Auntie Xiu, I need to ask you something. When Feng Kong Grand Emperor went out for 100 years and came back, how many came back with him? Yimo asked. He was certain that He Chong Immortal Emperor didn't come back with Feng Kong Grand Emperor, but he still asked. If Feng Kong Grand Emperor caught He Chong Immortal Emperor, he would definitely use him. When Feng Kong Grand Emperor came back, I was in the garden. I saw him come back with another woman. Ling Xiu answered. Yimo knew that she didn't know much. He took her out and introduced Ling Xiu to the rest of the people. In order to reach Gonghua Heaven quickly, Yimo took over control of Spacetime Boat. With how absurd Yimo's immortal essence and spirit sense were now, the Spacetime Boat went to a new extreme in speed. This time, Yimo didn't stay at Middle Heaven Domain. He just spent a year and crossed to the border of Gonghua Heaven. Gonghua Heaven's largest sect was Mo Yu Immortal Sect, of course. It was the strongest in the entire Low Heaven domains, and now that there was an Immortal Emperor stationed there, it was more famous. The Immortal Emperor didn't stay in Mo Yu Immortal Sect, but he stayed at Mo Yu Immortal City, clearly to protect Mo Yu Immortal Sect. At this moment, Su Jingwen and Lu Feng were discussing things at the main peak, Mo Yu Peak. Jingwen, your cultivation level is still too low. It's certain death if you go to the Void Heaven domain. Lu Feng looked at Su Jingwen worriedly. Su Jingwen said despondently, I know. I found that recently my progress stagnated and I would always think of Yimo. I'm very worried. I just want to see where Yimo went in and I would come back to cultivate. Otherwise, I can't cultivate at all. After pausing for a moment, Su Jingwen said, of course I know that if I go alone it would be certain death, but I plan to ask Ji Lei Immortal Emperor Master to help me. He's my husband's friend, I believe he would agree. You're worried about Ji Lei Immortal Emperor leaving Mo Yu Immortal City at any time, and it would be hard to find an Immortal Emperor to help, right? Lu Feng said helplessly. Su Jingwen nodded yes. I mainly want to check how to get there this time. When I come back I will work hard and cultivate to Immortal Emperor and then go alone. So I still want to ask Sister Lu to come with me. Lu Feng sighed. Of course it's fine, I just don't know if Ji Lei Immortal Emperor Master would think much. Su Jingwen got up immediately and said, in that case let's go Mo Yu Immortal City and find Ji Lei Qianbei. If Qianbei isn't willing then we won't go. Before Lu Feng could answer, she saw a jade card fall before Su Jingwen. Su Jingwen crushed it and the voice of Kang Mang's joyful voice sounded, Master's wife, sect leader is back. He's in Mo Yu Immortal City now. What? Su Jingwen just hesitated for a moment and couldn't breathe from this huge surprise. The next moment, she charged out of the cultivation home and disappeared. Lu Feng got up in joy and followed behind Su Jingwen. Sect leader Yi, Ji Lei Immortal Emperor, had been waiting for Yi Mo to come back in Mo Yu Immortal City. Brother Ji Lei, how are you in Mo Yu Immortal City? Yi Mo looked at Ji Lei in confusion. No matter how good Mo Yu Immortal City, it shouldn't be able to attract someone like him. Ji Lei laughed. You can catch up with me later. Without needing Ji Lei to remind, Yi Mo saw Su Jingwen stumbling over. She was so excited she almost couldn't fly. Seeing her, Yi Mo could no longer resist and grab her into his arms. Yi Mo, whimper. Su Jingwen could no longer talk and fell paralyzed in Yi Mo's arms. The surroundings seemed to be sunken into silence. No one wanted to talk now to disturb Yi Mo's reunion with Su Jingwen. A long while later, Su Jingwen touched Yi Mo's face as though trying to express all her longing after these years. Su Jingwen's familiar body aroma almost made Yi Mo mesmerized in it. When Su Jingwen's soft hands touched his face, he woke up and quickly threw out a few formation flags. The two disappeared from the rest of them. Su Jingwen murmured again, Yi Mo, is it really you? We're really seeing each other again? Jingwen, I'm back. I'll be staying at Mo Yu Immortal Sect from now on. Even if I go out occasionally, I'll be back soon. Yi Mo said. Su Jingwen shook as her body turned on fire. She hugged Yi Mo closer as her soft wet lips covered Yi Mo's lips. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1970, Powerful Mo Yu. Chapter 1970, Powerful Mo Yu. After some time, Yi Mo and Su Jingwen woke up at the same time. Su Jingwen immediately remembered that there were plenty of people watching. Her face burned and she snuck into Yi Mo's arms. We'll go back and, Su Jingwen's voice was very soft. Her heart was still beating fast but it was calming down. Yi Mo immediately asked Jingwen, other than you, who else has come to the immortal realm? None, only I have ascended from Mo Yu City. Or only I came here. Su Jingwen's tone was dejected. She was worried just like Yi Mo. There was no way no one from Mo Yu City has ascended up until now. Plus, Lu Wu Qianbei had ascended before her, but why was he nowhere to be seen? Hearing this, Yi Mo's heart sunk. He removed the nearby restriction. Jingwen, we'll talk about this when we go back. Seeing Yi Mo and Su Jingwen reveal themselves, everyone came up to greet them. Yi Mo looked at Lu Feng and knew she wanted to speak. Lu Feng, I was the sect leader Luo, don't worry. Lu Feng realized. No wonder she felt this familiarity on Yi Mo. Brother Yi, Yi Ying, Jiang Jin, Tong Zhu all came up and greeted in surprise and joy. They finally realized why Yi Mo treated them differently when the sect first opened. They knew each other. At the same time, they were very shocked. Yi Ying and them had seen Yi Mo's golden immortal divine damnation before. Liu Zhongyan and Liu Man sighed. They, like Yi Ying and them, knew Yi Mo's cultivation level before. It had only been a few hundred years and Yi Mo's cultivation level was something they didn't dare to imagine. Their cultivation speed had been fast in Mo Yu Immortal Sect, but even now, the strongest of them, Liu Zhongyan, is only abstruse immortal. Yi Mo saw everyone and was very happy. He greeted them all. Yimo knew from Yin Hui that Ren Fu, Hongling, and them had come to Mo Yu immortal sect. He was overjoyed. However, they were out for trials. Tang Beiwei had pulled Su Jingwen over to talk. Lu Feng organized Ning Yu and Eugene Xiang and Ling Xiu to settle in. When the people had pretty much finished talking, Ji Lei immortal emperor came up and smiled. 100 years no see, brother Yi seems more glorious than before. Yi Mo was now immortal emperor primary stage, but Ji Lei didn't feel surprised at all. He thought that Yi Mo hid his cultivation level. When everyone saw Ji Lei immortal emperor come over to talk, they all moved to the side. In their eyes, immortal emperors had utmost high status. How come brother Ji Lei didn't go into solitary cultivation and came to my Mo Yu immortal sect? Yi Mo smiled. Plus, Ji Lei immortal emperor got the dustless fruit. The first thing he should be doing is solitary cultivation. If Yi Mo reset the immortal spirit Kai gathering formation of Mo Yu immortal city, it might attract Ji Lei immortal emperor, but now was definitely impossible. Ji Lei immortal emperor said with fury, the dustless fruit I worked so hard to deal with brother Yi was robbed. I don't dare to get revenge from that guy, so I can only come to your place. Brother Ji Lei, who dares to rob your thing? Yi Mo asked in confusion. It's Feng Kong, that old bastard. This person is shameless to a new extreme. He publicly took away my dustless fruit and I didn't dare to say a word. I originally wanted brother Yi to help me, but now I feel calmer. Ji Lei indeed wanted to ask Yi Mo for help, but he later realized that even Yi Mo probably didn't dare to confront Feng Kong Grand Emperor. Yi Mo realized, so it's this old bastard. If I knew earlier I wouldn't let him have it so easy. Brother Yi, you saw Feng Kong Grand Emperor? Ji Lei immortal emperor asked in confusion. Yi Mo didn't hide it. Yes, I smashed his Grand Emperor estate home and killed that manager called Na Ming. I taught that guy a lesson. If I knew he took brother Ji Lei's dustless fruit, I wouldn't let him go so easily. What? Ji Lei immortal emperor opened his mouth wide in shock and couldn't react for a long time. As soon as he came out of the void heaven domain, he came to Gonghua heaven. He didn't know what happened in the grand heaven domain. But what Yi Mo said dazed him. Yi Mo could even teach Feng Kong Grand Emperor a lesson. Didn't this mean he was equal to a half-divine? He smashed Feng Kong Grand Emperor's estate and yet could come back to Mo Yu immortal sect safely. This clearly meant that Yi Mo wasn't scared of Feng Kong Grand Emperor. After a long while, Ji Lei immortal emperor reacted and laughed. Great, satisfying. Too satisfying. I've lost all my anger. A dustless fruit is nothing, so what if he takes it? Feng Kong bastard, such thing would happen to you too. Ha. Yi Mo knew he wasn't much stronger than Feng Kong Grand Emperor now, but he didn't need to say this. He wasn't scared of Feng Kong. Brother Yi, as an solo cultivator, only I know how hard it is to cultivate to immortal emperor. Brother Yi, I finally found a place today. If brother Yi doesn't mind, I'm willing to join Mo Yu immortal sect. Ji Lei immortal emperor immediately bowed and said. Yi Mo rejoiced. He didn't expect Ji Lei immortal emperor would join Mo Yu immortal sect. He welcomed Ji Lei immortal emperor joining Mo Yu immortal sect greatly. He quickly said, it's my honor that brother Ji Lei can join my Mo Yu immortal sect. How can I mind? Lu Feng quickly greeted Ji Lei immortal emperor too and rejoiced. It seems our Mo Yu immortal sect will have 2 immortal emperors now. Lu Feng didn't know Yi Mo's power, but from Ji Lei immortal emperor she knew that Mo Yu immortal sect also had a He Chong immortal emperor. Ji Lei immortal emperor laughed. Lu Feng, you might not know that sect leader Yi is an immortal emperor too. The top immortal emperor of the entire immortal realm. Seeing Lu Feng stare at him in shock, Yi Mo laughed. There won't just be 2 immortal emperors. After a while, Kai Mi immortal emperor will join our Mo Yu immortal sect too. Kai Mi. Ji Lei immortal emperor heard this and looked at Yi Mo in confusion. Yi Mo saw Ji Lei immortal emperor's expression and knew that he definitely heard of Kai Mi divine emperor, so he said that's right, he was previously Kai Mi divine emperor. He went to do things. After a while, he will return to our Mo Yu immortal sect. Everyone was dazed. Was this really just a low heaven domain king sect? Even the top emperor sects of the grand heaven domain would only have 4 or 5 immortal emperors. Ji Lei Immortal Emperor didn't dare to believe that a divine emperor was joining a low heaven domain sect. This sounded so strange. Luckily Kai Mi was no longer divine emperor. Otherwise, all of the grand heaven domain emperor sects would come visit. Yi Mo didn't say that in a few hundred years, Yu Jinxiang would return to immortal emperor. She was immortal monarch primary stage now. Unlike Kai Mi, once Yu Jinxiang recovered her power, she would be much stronger than before. Let's not chat outside, let's go back in the sect first. Lu Fenggo announced that 16 years later, our Mo Yu immortal sect will have our sect opening ceremony. Yi Mo had decided to spread the news of Mo Yu immortal sect. Yes, sect leader. Lu Feng rejoiced. Yi Mo had decided to let Yu Jinxiang and Lu Feng be responsible for the ceremony and Ji Lei immortal emperor to hold the scene. Meanwhile, Yi Mo rebuilt the city protection formation and the immortal spirit Kai gathering immortal formation. When Yi Mo came back to Mo Yu immortal sect, the sect became heated again. Blankets were scattered and half of Su Jingwen's chest was shown. The redness on her face hadn't receded yet, but her eyes didn't leave Yi Mo at all. What are you worried about? Yi Mo held Su Jingwen in his arms and asked. Su Jingwen squeezed into Yi Mo's arm and said worriedly, I'm here with you, but Sister Susu and Qingxue and Yangzhu hasn't ascended yet. I'm worried about them. Sometimes I feel I'm selfish. In order to see you, I ascended earlier. Yi Mo patted Su Jingwen's snow-white shoulders and said, when I finish setting up Mo Yu immortal sex formation, I will go see. How will you go? Can you really go down to the cultivation realm? Su Jingwen subconsciously sat up, not realizing the blanket fell, completely revealing her sturdy chests. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1971, Fail to Tear Space. Chapter 1971, Fail to Tear Space. I can't go down to the cultivation realm, but my immortal ascension wasn't normal immortal ascension. And, Yi Mo subconsciously looked at Su Jingwen and then reached out with his hands. Su Jingwen moaned and then immersed in it again. After some time, Su Jingwen panted before looking at Yi Mo and said, there was a martial sister called Bingyu who came looking for you. After hearing you were lost, she left Mo Yu immortal sect. Yi Mo heard this and didn't feel too natural. After ascending to the immortal realm, he had seen too many beautiful female immortals, but he had never been interested in them. The only one he had fascinations for was Zhen Bingyu, and that was under a special circumstance. After a long while, Yi Mo sighed. Zhen Bingyu's Dao heart is completely different to mine. You know what she calls this? What? Lust. Sounds bad. By the way, Jingwen, I'll start teaching you body refinement, okay? Why body refinement? You'll know afterwards. As Yi Mo came back and Ji Lei Immortal Emperor joined Mo Yu Immortal Sect, Mo Yu Immortal Sect became the center of attention in the low heaven domains. The sects and heaven lords were thinking about what gifts to give when they had their sect opening ceremony. Unlike before, there was clearly an immortal emperor joining the sect. Even in the middle heaven domains, an emperor sect was at the top of the top. Everyone in Mo Yu Immortal Sect moved while Yi Mo started setting up T formations. This time, Yi Mo had no limitations. He planted 36 extreme-grade immortal ranges below Mo Yu Immortal Sect and 3 below Mo Yu Immortal City. He changed the 100,000 Void Defense Kill formation. His current formation means were completely different than before. He used half a year to reorganize the formation and remake formation flags. Half a year later, the Mo Yu Immortal Sect Protection formation closed again. Now, it was truly a level 9 immortal formation. The instant the formation closed, Mo Yu Immortal Sect force became grand. It was the grand force and look of an emperor sect. Ji Lei Immortal Emperor stood at the top of a peak and looked at the closed formation and exclaimed. He felt his choice was completely correct. Sect leader Yi was a legend in the immortal realm. His age wasn't big, but his cultivation level, formation skills, and pill concoction skills were all at the peak of the entire immortal realm. He was certain that no one else in the immortal realm could set up this formation. This formation was set up to defend against the gang-up of immortal emperors. With such formation, even if Mo Yu immortal sect had no immortal emperors, so what? This was the true force of an emperor sect. Wen Ju Heaven Ruo Feng Hill. This was the place Yi Mo ascended to. After Yi Mo had set up Mo Yu immortal sect formation, he came to here. He was extremely worried about Luo Yu continent people unable to ascend. The only thing he could think of was the place he ascended. It was impossible to find a way into the cultivation realm from the immortal ascension palace. The only possibility was to find a weak space and try to tear it. Usually, the weak places were where cultivators ascended to. He ascended abnormally, so that spot must be the weakest. Yi Mo knew that even if he found where he ascended to, it wouldn't be easy to tear open the space there. Although there would be small space tears when two top immortal emperors fought, but one couldn't enter those. Those small cracks would disappear in an instant. The space of immortal realms were extremely stable. Even immortal emperors wouldn't be able to tear it casually. Plus, even if you tore it open, so what? The space you tore open was connected to a place you didn't know at all. The Ruofeng Hill was where he ascended to. If he tore open that place, there should be a broken world. The broken world had 5 pillars. He had the divine damnation there and ascended to the immortal realm. If he just tore here, he would be able to go back to that tattered world. Yi Mo believed that he wasn't able to spirit control the world at the time nor tear it open because he was truth realization state. With his immortal emperor power, he might be able to go back to the heartless sea through there. Ruofeng Hill was still the same as before. There were half-hard half-weak soil everywhere. Yi Mo found the place where he ascended and started setting up formation flags. 3 days later, he completely locked this space, fearing that he would create too much commotion tearing open the space, causing other places in Wuju Heaven to collapse. After getting ready, Yi Mo used all his immortal essence and grabbed at the void. Yi Mo felt a subtle barrier, but then he let go in disappointment. With his current cultivation level, he could feel the barrier, but he was far from being able to tear it open. Rumble. The tear opened up and an extremely terrifying power came smashing onto Yi Mo's chest from the dark void. Crack. Yi Mo's ribs were torn open and he spat many mouthfuls of blood in the air and twisted in the air. Then, another extremely terrifying suction power came wanting to take Yi Mo into that space crevice. Yi Mo was very shocked. He wanted to use this place to get into that broken world, but now he knew he definitely can't go in. The space here was this terrifying. If he went in, he would never be able to come out. Tearing the place open was already hard enough, it would be even hard to come back out. It seemed his power was still too weak. Yi Mo retreated like crazy, but that void suction seemed to be getting bigger and bigger. Yi Mo used all his immortal essence to force himself to stop. Rumble. The space Yi Mo hacked open finally closed and the suction disappeared. Yi Mo fell from the sky and couldn't move from the ground. The powerful immortal essence backlash made Yi Mo spit more blood. He had never been this seriously injured when he fought with other people. Yi Mo quickly ate a blue spirit essence pill. He was scared. If the void didn't close itself, he would be sucked in. His wounds slowly closed. Yi Mo rejoiced that he didn't use the golden bow of immortal extermination arrow to tear the space here. If the arrow was taken away by space, how could he find it? It seemed he would have to wait for Kai Mi to come back to ask how Lu Zhengquan went into the cultivation realm. Just when Yi Mo wanted to put away the formation flag, 2 figures landed next to him. It was a man and woman. The man was Great Unity Immortal, while the female Immortal was Abstruse Immortal Tertiary Stage. It's you? The female Immortal said in surprise. Yi Mo got up slowly. He didn't expect to meet someone familiar here. This female Immortal was the Ji Yang goddess he saw at the city gates of Bai Yi Immortal City. This place wasn't far from Bai Yi Immortal City. She always went there, so it was no wonder she was here. Martial Sister Ji Yang, you know this person? The male Immortal asked in confusion. Ji Yang nodded yes. I saw him at the city gates of Bai Yi Immortal City. I didn't expect he is still here and this seriously injured. Yi Mo could tell from her words that he exposed the corner soul weed and people were searching for him, but he fled. That's why she was surprised to see him here. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1972. Where there is people, there is society. Chapter 1972. Where there is people, there is society. Ji Yang Goddess gave Yimo a pill. This is a recovery pill. Eat it. If you go trial, it's best you find a few people and team up. It's dangerous to be outside alone. Ji Yang Goddess was thinking about asking Yimo about the corner soul weed. Yimo waved his hand. Thank you, Ji Yang Goddess. I still owe you 5 top-grade immortal crystals. How can I take your immortal pills? Thanks, I'll be leaving now. 5 top-grade immortal crystals was a huge fortune to Yimo before, but he knew that she wouldn't even consider it as anything, so he didn't bother repaying her back. Wait, Ji Yang quickly stopped Yimo. Yimo stopped and looked at Ji Yang in confusion. You have other things? Ji Yang Goddess said, actually I want to ask, were you the one who took out corner soul weed in the Bai Yi Immortal City? Yimo realized, so this was it. He didn't need to hide it now, so he admitted, that's right, I took out those 2 corner soul weed. Suddenly, Yimo thought of Yang Hongzhong. This was quite a nice guy. He didn't know him that well, but he was a good person. Since he came to Bai Yi Immortal City, he would go visit him if he could. Ji Yang's tone was a bit shaky. Yimo, can you tell me how you got your corner soul weed? In the cultivation realm, I went to a corner and saw some corner soul weed, so I took them. Later I realized these things were good and could repair spirit sense and soul. Yimo knew that even if he went to the sea corner he might not be able to find it. Ji Yang's eyes dimmed. The man next to her also seemed to feel down. It was impossible to go to the cultivation realm if one didn't have top god art or know of unique tunnels. But Ji Yang soon asked Yimo in excitement, Yimo, do you still have corner soul weed? Yimo took out 2 clear weeds to Ji Yang and said, I still have 2 here. You can have it, thanks for giving me 5 immortal crystals before. Ji Yang Goddess really didn't expect she got 2 corner soul weed so easily. She took it excitedly. Thank you Yimo. This is very precious, I can't take it for free, tell me how many immortal crystals. Yimo laughed, I don't need to rely on these 2 corner soul weed to get rich, goodbye. Then, no matter how much Ji Yang called him, he didn't stop and left. Martial sister Ji Yang, this person is quite good. He can still remember today about the 5 immortal crystals. That great unity immortal looked at Yimo's figure and said. Ji Yang Goddess nodded yes, he can remember the 5 immortal crystals, meaning that he's a very grateful person. Oh, how can I let him go? Father is still looking for him. Plus, if he goes to Bai Yi Immortal City now, then he would be over if people knew he was the one with corner soul weed. Thinking about this, Ji Yang immediately chased over. She wanted to take Yimo to see her father and warn Yimo to leave Bai Yi Immortal City. But she chased for a long time and still didn't find any tracks of Yimo. She stood in confusion. It's only been this long, how could he leave my spirit sense range? I need to tell my father that Yimo is near the city. The great unity immortal man said. Martial sister Ji Yang, do you think uncle would force Yimo to tell him where the corner soul weed came? Why force? Yimo said the corner soul weed came from cultivation realm. There's no point in forcing him. Ji Yang looked at the great unity immortal in confusion. The great unity immortal smiled. That's right, how can uncle care about someone who just flew up 100 years or 2? Yimo was heavily injured, but he had immortal pill that even divine emperors might not have. He put a few pills in his mouth and his wounds recovered rapidly. Yimo found a quiet place and just wanted to change clothes when a figure stumbled into him. This person was covered in blood and seemed more injured than Yimo. Feng Chuanmo. Yimo didn't expect this person to be her. Feng Chuanmo didn't seem as young and pretty as before. Instead, she was dark and skinny. Her hair crest had changed to wife style. You're Pillmaster Yi? Pillmaster Yi, how are you here? Feng Chuanmo stopped and looked at Yimo in shock. Yimo knew that Feng Chuanmo would probably leave Extreme Sword Sect after getting the Great Unity pills from him. I was passing by here, I didn't expect you to be here too. What a coincidence. Yimo smiled. Feng Chuanmore was still Great Unity Immortal Primary Stage now. After she used his Great Unity pills and left the sect, she didn't progress at all. Feng Chuanmore breathed and took out an ordinary recovery pill to Yimo. Hurry up and eat this. This is close to Bai Yi Immortal City. Are you planning to go there? Yimo pushed her pills back and gave her a pill instead. You know I'm an immortal pill master. How can I not have pills? Use my pill, your wounds will go. Feng Chuanmore shook her hand. Thank you, but my sea of consciousness is injured. It wouldn't be recovered this easily. Sigh, just eat it and you will know. Yimo could long tell that Feng Chuanmore's sea of consciousness was injured. Seeing Yimo being persistent, Feng Chuanmore could only take it and eat the pill. She trusted Yimo. She was willing to give her virginity to Yimo for the Great Unity pills, but Yimo rejected without hesitation. In just 10 seconds she looked at Yimo with shock. Pill Master Yi, what immortal pills are these? It can even repair my sea of consciousness. Yimo said calmly, I already told you I'm an immortal pill master. If I can't even cure these injuries, what immortal pill master would I be? It seems your pill concoction skills have improved. You're probably level 5 immortal pill great master now, right? Feng Chuanmore said in surprise and joy. Yimo nodded. That's right. I can concoct level 5 immortal pill. How did you get in this state? After I left Extreme Sword Sect I heard it was annihilated. Did you leave at that time? Feng Chuanmore breathed easy and bowed to Yimo. Pill Master Yi, thank you for saving me. You should eat some pills too. I'll tell you once you recover, it's a long story. My wounds are pretty much healed. I need to change clothes. You should too. Yimo set up a restriction and cleansed himself before changing clothes. Feng Chuanmore looked at the restriction Yimo set up so casually and realized that this Pill Master Yi was a restriction master. She hid on the side and cleansed herself before changing into blue robes. Although her tired look was still there, she finally looked a bit more like Great Unity Immortal now. Where are you going? Yimo sighed. Feng Chuanmore reached Great Unity Immortal and should be looking prettier and younger than before. However, her skin was dry. Clearly, she didn't have much time to cultivate and spent most of time fighting and burning her immortal essence and essence blood. Feng Chuanmore's eyes were dim. I don't know where I should go. For my family, I asked you to concoct a few bottles of Great Unity pills. I just wanted to bring my family back to glory and help my brother get revenge. Later on, I realized how naive I was. They took my Great Unity pills and introduced a Dao partner to me. When my husband was killed I realized that the one who killed me brother was the one I was helping. After these years, I finally killed the enemy and got my brother revenge, but I've been hunted by them ever since. I've fled for decades and I don't know where I should go now nor what I should do. Yimo was speechless. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1973, I want to see. Chapter 1973, I want to see. If you have nowhere to go, then come with me. Yimo sighed. Yimo guessed a bit why Feng Chuanmore didn't go to Extreme Sword Sect. She probably left the sect before it was annihilated. Now, she didn't have the face to go back. Thank you, Pill Master Yi. Feng Chuanmore thanked and hesitated before saying, Pill Master Yi, do you know if the Extreme Sword Sect is okay now? Yimo answered, you don't need to worry about them. They have 2 immortal kings now. They're a famous sect even in all of low heaven domains. Then I'm rest assured. Feng Chuanmore sighed and her tone grew more despondent. I wonder if Nianmei and Sister Bingyu are okay. Yimo couldn't answer this. He knew some things about Zhen Bingyu but nothing about Qin Nianmei. Let's go to Bai Yi Immortal City first. I happen to come past here and want to see someone I know. Yimo said. Feng Chuanmore woke up and quickly handed a mask to Yimo. I must wear this in the Immortal City, there are people hunting me. Yimo wanted to say would dare to hunt him, but then he remembered that he was going to the city to find news about Yang Hongzong. He would have to ask that merchant tower. If he used his original face, the worker there might recognize him to be the one who has corner soul weed. Yimo wasn't afraid of trouble, but he didn't want it. Thinking about this, Yimo put the mask on and said, "Let's go, I'll ask at by ye immortal city. If there's no news then we'll go back." Yimo followed Feng Chuanmo into the merchant tower where he gave Yang Hongzhong the corner soul weed but found that it was no longer the same worker there. Yimo was a little disappointed, but he still went over and saluted with his fists. "Immortal friend, I want to ask if you know about Yang Hongzhong." "Yang Hongzhong?" The worker studied Yimo and shook his head. "No, I've never heard of such person." Yimo scanned his spirit sense in the city and didn't see Yang Hongzhong. "Since he isn't here and no one knows him, let's go," Yimo said and left. As soon as he came to the door, he saw Ji Yang Goddess and that great unity immortal man. There was another great extreme immortal behind them. Yimo had seen this great extreme immortal. When he first entered the city, the great extreme immortal was behind Ji Yang. After all these years, he was still following Ji Yang Goddess. However, Ji Yang Goddess was already great unity immortal, but the great extreme immortal was still great extreme immortal. Yimo's mask was given by Yang Hongzhong. How good quality can her mask be? Plus, Yimo didn't even change his hair nor eyes nor shoes. Ji Yang Goddess saw Yimo not long ago and recognized Yimo immediately. She quickly stopped. "Yimo, Yimo, I didn't expect you to come to the city this quick. I wanted to thank you." Yimo smiled and pulled off Yang Hongzhong's mask, saying, "Take off the mask, this thing really isn't comfortable." "Okay." Yang Hongzhong took off her mask too and stared at the two with alert. "No need to thank me, I need to go now," Yimo said and walked off. The great extreme immortal guard was clearly much harder to talk than the great unity immortal next to Ji Yang. Seeing Yimo dare to leave so casually, he immediately stopped before Yimo. "Wait, do you not see Ji Yang Goddess asking you question? Ji Yang Goddess helped you pay the immortal crystals to enter the city, how did you forget immediately?" Yimo's face sunk and said coldly, "Piss off." The great extreme immortal's face changed. He didn't expect a guy who only ascended to the immortal realm for 200 years dares to tell him to piss off. His killing intent soared and his hand reached out. Ji Yang Goddess quickly stopped the great extreme immortal. "Muji, stop. Yimo has helped me, how can you be like that? Stand on the side first." "Yes." The great extreme immortal didn't dare to disobey. Ji Yang said to Yimo apologetically, "Yimo, sorry, my guard is a bit rude. I'll apologize to you." There was a Wenfeng wine before the tournament at the Bai Yi Immortal City. "Why didn't you drink the drop? Did you not like it?" Yimo said plainly, "Indeed, I feel it's not so good, so I didn't have the mood to drink it." Yimo was actually being honest. Ji Yang didn't expect this answer and was dazed, but Yimo couldn't be bothered talking to her. He signaled Yang Hongzhong and walked off. The great unity immortal man looked at Yimo and thought for a moment before calling the worker out. "What did that masked man do here?" The golden immortal worker clearly knew who this great unity immortal was and quickly bowed. "Young Master Rui, that person came in to ask who Yang Hongzhong was." Hearing this, Ji Yang quickly said to Yimo, "Immortal friend Yi, I know who that Yang Hongzhong is and I know his location." Yimo was just grateful for Yang Hongzhong helping him. This time, he wanted to thank him. Hearing this, he immediately stopped. "Haha, where is immortal friend Yimo?" A loud laughter sounded and a middle-aged man landed before Yimo. "I'm Yimo, what do you need?" Yimo looked at this man in confusion. This person was Great Eternity Immortal Peak Stage. The middle-aged man saluted with his fists. "I'm Wenju Heaven Lord Ji Bai Wen. I heard you're friends with my daughter, so I came to invite immortal friend Yi to come to my estate." Yimo's face sunk and he frowned. This Ji Yang Goddess was really rude. She only gave him 5 immortal crystals, but he gave her 2 corner soul weeds. And he told her the corner soul weed was from the cultivation realm, but she was still not satisfied and actually called her father over. A heaven lord came to him clearly for the corner soul weed. "No need for the invitation, I'm still busy," Yimo said plainly and looked at Ji Yang Goddess. "Ji Yang Goddess, if you know where Yang Hongzhong is, tell me. If not, I'm leaving." "Is the Yang Hongzhong you're talking, Yang Xiaoyuan's son?" "If it is him, then his father is in some trouble," Ji Baiwen said. Ji Yang Goddess immediately said, "Yes father, Yang Hongzhong is Yang Xiaoyuan uncle's son. Immortal friend Yi, I don't know if you're Yang Hongzhong's friend or not, but his father is indeed in some trouble. If you're Yang Hongzhong's friend, then come to the city lord estate and we'll discuss it. I'm trying hard to help Tu Sai. Ge Baiwen sighed. The worry in his tone was clear. Yimo sneered. He needed to find Yang Hongzhong and his father was immediately in trouble. He just hoped Yang Hongzhong was being honest, otherwise, he would be cruel. He glanced at Ji Baiwen and said, in that case please lead the way. I want to see what big trouble it is. Ji Baiwen's worry couldn't be more fake. Yimo didn't like this guy at all. Hearing Yimo's rude tone, a Great Eternity Immortal primary stage guard behind Ji Baiwen's face sunk immediately. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 1974, Fourth Golden Bone Arrow. Chapter 1974, Fourth Golden Bone Arrow. Ji Baiwen quickly signaled to Ji Yang, hoping for her to stop Yimo. From his perspective, Yimo could give another 2-corner soul weed to his daughter because he secretly liked his daughter. It was daydreaming for someone like Yimo to want his daughter, but he could use this now to make Yimo hand over corner soul weed or its origin. Ji Yang didn't know what her father truly meant and just thought her father thought she was closer to Yimo. Just when she was going to call Yimo, a scornful voice sounded. Bullshit. What trouble? It's just some immortal crystals compensation. With Yang Xiaoyuan's status in the Hongxian Merchant Association, could he not afford that immortal crystals? Raju, 5 billion top-grade immortal crystals is not little. Ji Baiwen's face was bad. If it wasn't that this person's cultivation level was on par with him, he would teach this person a lesson immediately. After he was done with Yimo, he would still teach this guy a lesson. At first Yimo thought Ji Baiwen was really tricking him, but after hearing it was 5 billion immortal crystals, Yimo knew it wasn't bullshit. Even in the Grand Heaven domain, people would need certain status to have 5 billion immortal crystals. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to have this many immortal crystals. Even though Yang Xiaoyuan had equity in Hongxian Merchant Association, he probably wouldn't be able to afford it. Yimo looked at this tattered Rao Ju and asked, what exactly is it, do you know? Rao Ju looked at Yimo in contempt. If I don't know, would I be talking? Give me 100k immortal crystals. I'll take you to Yang Xiaoyuan's place. It's because Yang Xiaoyuan auctioned a golden bone arrow. This bone arrow. Yimo was extremely shocked. He threw a storage ring to Rao Ju and said, don't waste time. This is 100k immortal crystals, lead the way. Rao Ju was just asking for an insane price, but Yimo didn't even argue. His spirit sense scanned inside. It was 100k indeed. This was definitely a wealthy person. Rao Ju said excitedly, young master, please follow me. I will take you to Yang Xiaoyuan's place. Rao Ju knew that he asked a bit too late. Yimo signaled Feng Chuanmo to come. Immortal friend Yi, wait. Yang Xiaoyuan's is my friend. Come to the city lord estate first. I'll invite Yang Xiaoyuan over, Ji Baiwen quickly called behind. Yimo didn't have the time to talk to Ji Baiwen and just urged Rao Ju to hurry up. Ji Baiwen saw that Yimo ignored him, but he couldn't capture Yimo on the streets, so he could only call out, Yimo, my daughter thinks you're not bad. I think you're a good person too. If you're willing, you can be my disciple and cultivate with my daughter. Ji Yang and the Great Unity Immortal Man looked dazedly at Ji Baiwen. Father, just when Ji Yang wanted to say something, she heard Yimo's voice. Thank you for your good will Heaven Lord Ji. I like being free, I don't deserve your daughter. Ji Yang was immediately annoyed hearing this. Whether or not she wanted to was her decision. What right did Yimo have to say this? She had been nice to Yimo, but it didn't mean she treated Yimo as an equal. Yimo was an solo cultivator and only ascended to the immortal realm for 200 years. What right did he have to not want her? Seeing Yimo disappear from sight, Ji Baiwen's face sunk. He said to that guard, wait at the city gates. Ji Yang didn't like Yimo's tone, but her father was clearly going to take Yimo away by force. She was a bit worried. She was prideful, but she wasn't as evil as her dad. She felt Yi Mo was a good person, but despite knowing her dad was going to take Yi Mo, she didn't dare to say anything. As soon as Yi Mo came to Yang Xiaoyuan's estate, he knew why he was in trouble. His estate was covered by formation and restriction. There were two great eternity immortal primary stages watching closely. There was no way Yang Xiaoyuan could come out under such situation. Ji Baiwen was bullshitting, saying that he could invite Yang Xiaoyuan out. Yi Mo's spirit sense scanned in. A well-dressed chubby great eternity immortal tertiary stage sat in the hall with a bitter face. Before him was a kettle of Wenfeng wine. There was no one around but two maids standing there. Looking at this chubby man, Yi Mo knew it was Yang Xiaoyuan. He looked a bit like Yang Hongzhong. "Okay, you have no business here. You can go," Yi Mo said to Rao Ju. Rao Ju smiled. "Young master, I'll wait for you here. When you're ready to go, I'll take you back. Don't worry, I won't raise the price. It'll be the same." Yi Mo knew this guy was after his immortal crystals. His face went cold and killing intent surged out. An invisible sword ray sliced off Rao Ju's leg. "Piss off, if you dare to say one more word you'll never need to leave," Yi Mo said, and then took Feng Chuanmo into the cultivation home. These restrictions seemed useless to him. Finally, Rao Ju's leg started to bleed. He looked at Yi Mo's figure with a pale face and his hands were shaky. After a long while, he picked up his broken leg and said shakily, "Yes, Qian Bei, Wen Bei will leave immediately." How could he not know now that Yi Mo was someone he couldn't mess with? He could easily bind him and slice off his leg. Yi Mo's power was unbelievable. He was lucky to even be alive after messing with such person. Feng Chuanmo followed Yi Mo dazedly into the cultivation home and asked in shock, "Pill Master Yi, are you status immortal already? I'll tell you this when I get back. I have important things to do now. It's very important to me." Yi Mo said important twice. The golden bone arrow was too important to him. For something like the golden bow of immortal extermination, 4 arrows would be many times stronger than 3 arrows. When he fought with Ji Zong immortal emperor, if all 3 of his arrows were real, he would have to await death. He wouldn't even be able to enter the golden page world. Yang Xiaoyuan sat there with a bitter face. He couldn't afford the 5 billion immortal crystals. Plus, that bastard knew he had a Yi King pill and wanted it too. Yang Xiaoyuan saw Yi Mo and Feng Chuanmo enter. He immediately got up. Yi Mo greeted first immortal friend Yang. "Yi Mo came to disturb you." "Yi Mo? Are you sent over by the Hongxian Merchant Association?" Yang Xiaoyuan looked at Yi Mo in confusion. Yi Mo laughed. "I'm friends with Yang Hongzhong. I came past by Yi Immortal City and came to see him, but I heard he wasn't in the city, so I came to your estate to visit you. This is my friend Feng Chuanmo." Yang Xiaoyuan immediately shook and got up and reproached, "Just what do you want?" "I'm willing to give it to you. I can gather more immortal crystals. Don't do anything to my son. Hongzhong doesn't have anything on him. I've said he isn't in the city." Yi Mo quickly said, "Don't misunderstand immortal friend Yang. I'm really Yang Hongzhong's friend. When I first ascended, I passed by Yi Immortal City and didn't have any immortal crystals. I couldn't buy anything. Yang Hongzhong was a good person and bought a flying cultivation artifact of mine, and later on I gave him 2 corner soul weed. I don't know if he mentioned this to you." "He did, so it's you." Yang Xiaoyuan realized. He looked at Feng Chuanmo and believed this. Feng Chuanmo was only Great Unity Immortal Primary Stage. Yi Mo hid his power, but he wouldn't be any higher. Yi Mo knew that Yang Xiaoyuan was still suspicious of his identity, so he grabbed out some corner soul weed and put them on the table. "Look at these and you'll know I'm not lying. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters." Chapter 1975, Hongxian Merchant Association. Chapter 1975, Hongxian Merchant Association. "It really is you. Then why don't you hurry up and leave? Do you know the consequence of exposing your corner soul weed?" There are countless people in the Bai Yi immortal city who wants to kill you. When you left the city there were people hunting you. Hurry up and leave. Yang Xiaoyuan said worriedly. Yi Mo put the corner soul weed away and patted Yang Xiaoyuan's shoulder. Since I dare to come, I wouldn't be scared of some clowns. Yang Xiaoyuan and Yang Hongzhong were similar. They were really nice. Seeing Yi Mo act so casual, Yang Xiaoyuan sighed. He asked, did the two guards ask a lot of questions when you came in? Never mind, even if you want to leave, you probably can't now. I'm probably set up by someone. Yi Mo laughed. This guy wasn't hopeless since he could realized he was set up. The father and son weren't calculative people, so it was normal they were set up. When I came in the guards didn't ask anything because the restrictions around your estate is like nothing to me. Yi Mo smiled. Yang Xiaoyuan's eyes lit up. Is Immortal Friend Yi a formation grandmaster? Yi Mo nodded. Immortal Friend Yi, if you can leave from this formation secretly, why don't we escape first? Yang Xiaoyuan suggested. Yi Mo was lost for words. Did he need to run? Don't worry, Immortal Friend Yang, just tell me what happened and let's see if there's a resolution. Yi Mo sat down and signaled Feng Chuanmo to sat down. Yang Xiaoyuan laughed awkwardly, knowing his idea wasn't great. He sat down and poured them a cup of Wen Feng wine each and sighed. I've always been cultivating in the city and I have my own store. I can at least let the people around me cultivate. However, after I got a Yi King pill once, I felt things weren't right. Yang Xiaoyuan spoke for 15 minutes and Yi Mo finally understood what was going on. Yang Xiaoyuan got lucky and got a Yi King pill once, and not long after that, the Hongxian Merchant Association was interested in him. They invited Yang Xiaoyuan to join the Merchant Association and combine his shop into it. He would then get equity in the Merchant Association and be a manager in the Merchant Association. Yang Xiaoyuan's store was good, but it couldn't buy the top-level immortal pills. After considering carefully, he accepted the invitation and joined them. A few years later, Yang Xiaoyuan found that his decision was right. His income was tens of times greater than before, and in just a few decades he had nearly 500 million immortal crystals. He could use better pills for cultivation. He had only collected 2 billion immortal crystals after countless years. If this went on, he would soon be able to save 10 billion immortal crystals and go into solitary cultivation to break through to Immortal King. However, a few months ago, a mysterious customer came to Hongxian Merchant Association. He knew that the city was going to have a big auction, so he wanted to auction a bone arrow. The arrow was completely golden and dense restrictions. Spirit sense couldn't scan through it at all. An immortal king of the Merchant Association and a few great eternity immortals confirmed that the arrow was worth at least 7 billion immortal crystals. Yang Xiaoyuan was one of the people who verified it. This bone arrow became the final auction item. Eventually, Yang Xiaoyuan sealed the bone arrow in a jade box and placed it in the stores. However, that mysterious customer suddenly said that he didn't want to sell it anymore the next day and was willing to pay the fine. Although it was a loss for the Merchant Association to not sell it, they could only return the bone arrow. It was Yang Xiaoyuan who put the bone arrow in the storage, so it was he who went to take it out. However, when Yang Xiaoyuan went to pick up the jade box, it was empty. Yang Xiaoyuan was the prime suspect, and before the bone arrow was found, he was locked up in his home. Would someone have stolen the bone arrow after you put it in and blame it on you? Feng Chuanmo could tell Yang Xiaoyuan didn't seem to be someone to steal it. Yang Xiaoyuan grabbed his hair and said, I knew the bone arrow was stolen, but the storage needed 5 jade cards at the same time to activate. Otherwise, even an immortal emperor wouldn't be able to open it. If it was forced open, there would be alarms. I have 1 jade card on me, so no one should be able to go in. Yang Xiaoyuan sighed. Of course I know I was set up now. The Merchant Association had been in the city for 10,000 years. Their reputation has been very good, so I didn't believe this at first. Even though I know they're setting me up, there's no way for me to get justice. I just want to compensate them and leave. However, I owe 2 billion immortal crystals. It wasn't important to Yi Mo if Yang Xiaoyuan was set up or not. What was important was that he get this golden arrow. He was certain from Yang Xiaoyuan's description that it was the bone arrow he was after. If it was the real one, then even 70 billion wouldn't be enough to buy it. Yi Mo patted Yang Xiaoyuan's shoulder. Take me to see the people who verified the arrow and the seller. Yang Xiaoyuan waved his hand quickly. No, I can't leave. If I'm caught leaving, I would be hunted immediately. Yi Mo laughed and a powerful force rose. Yang Xiaoyuan just felt he was instantly bound and couldn't even move a finger. Yang Xiaoyuan's face was pale. He was shook by Yi Mo's terrifying cultivation level. After 10 seconds later, Yi Mo released his domain and said, Immortal friend Yang, do you think I have the right to talk to them? Yang Xiaoyuan wiped the sweat from his forehead and said with a daze, so you're already Immortal King. I was so rude before, but we can only talk nicely with them and not fight. Yi Mo laughed. Immortal King? Can an immortal king easily bind a great eternity immortal tertiary stage till the degree that he can't move at all? He didn't rebuke and just said, I know, I have some immortal crystals. If it's not enough, I'll pay for you. Thank you, Yi Qianbei, I will definitely pay your immortal crystals back. Yang Xiaoyuan bowed. Just call me Yi Mo. Feng Chuanmore looked dazedly at Yi Mo. She guessed that Yi Mo was status immortal, but now it was proven he was. She was still shocked. After all, when she first saw Yi Mo, he was only a golden immortal. Seeing Yi Mo easily take him out of his home without startling the guards, Yang Xiaoyuan wanted to reach Immortal King even more. Immortal King was this powerful. It was a completely different level to Great Eternity Immortal. The Hongxian Merchant Association looked more grand than even the City Lord estate. The association leader and a few managers are all at the 3rd level. I still have 3 days to gather immortal crystals. The seller of the golden arrow should still be in the Merchant Association too. Yang Xiaoyuan said. Yi Mo's spirit sense had already penetrated the barrier formation and scanned the entire place. I see it, let's go out. Yi Mo then walked in the tower first. Yang Xiaoyuan was planning to explain to the guards, but then he saw that the guards didn't seem to see them at all. At this moment, there were 5 immortals in the level 3 discussion hall. 2 of them were Immortal King. The Yi King pill is less important. The main thing is Yang Xiaoyuan's blood. We can reduce his compensation and make him willingly give us his essence blood to open the restriction. If the Yi King pill can allow Yang Xiaoyuan to reach Immortal King, I would rather wait till he is Immortal King before going. A purple-robed Immortal King said. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories,